We are live.
That was unintentional.
Yes. So, welcome one and all to the fun-filled festivities. Now, Danny is going to be a little late, so between now and then, we thought we would talk about the new, um, feminist Godzilla extravaganza. Or
And any other media
yeah,
stuff like Fantastic Four, which hopefully isn't turning into Fan Four Stick 2.
I gotta say, I'm still. My thoughts right now are Deadpool, that Deadpool trailer has got me thinking that they're going to use Deadpool to do a soft reboot of the MCU, by having Deadpool kind of bring some of the Fox characters in, maybe trim out some of the fat, and at least be able to be uh, self-referentially irreverent about the mistakes that they've made. You know,
Well, I
and
mean, like I said when we did our quick hot take trailer review,
mm,
as far as that goes, considering how far down the double down train Bob Iger and company seem to be willing to go right now with new production announcements.
yeah, but at the same time, while I'm not certainly not defending like the replace Jack Sparrow with a woman and make her gay line from for pirates or any of that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But I don't see that happening specifically on the Marvel side of the brand because it does look like Feige realized that they were going off a cliff and stopped them and said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! We need to retool." Now, how that retooling is going to come out, we haven't seen.
That's yeah. I mean, they could pull right out of the comic series the Marvel kills the multiverse or Deadpool kills the multiverse,
Right.
which was an entire series of like it was a short arc that was done.
Yeah.
Uh,
Deadpool killed the Marvel universe. Yes.
yeah. Well, not the Marvel universe, just the multiverse.
Well, and that's why I think in some like so we know the TVA is involved, and it seems to me like, and they say in the trailer, "Oh, you're special," and so I would think that Deadpool is the one here's what I think. If they really want to get clever, all right, and I'm not going to pretend to have come up with all this by myself. I saw this on they talked about something similar to this on a recent Screen Crush video that I saw on it. But what I think would be really really clever at this point is bring in the messed up ending from She-Hulk and have Deadpool destroy Kevin.
Well, that would be cute. It would be a
Because
start.
yeah, well, you see, but what I'm saying here is that what they can do is the TVA can say there's something wrong with the universe, right?
Yeah.
And they can't figure out what it is. It's something beyond their ability to see. And Deadpool is the only one that can really see it, and it's Kevin.
Well,
And that way, if they get Kevin out of the picture, you basically retcon out that ending of She-Hulk by getting rid of Kevin, and then you can move forward with a more organic universe without She-Hulk having broken it, and you can start to pretend some of the stuff that was bad in the last couple of years didn't happen. Um,
oh
so
yeah, that's actually I just saw that out of the corner of my eye as it popped in. It gets worse, and I'm not sure if you saw the news on it, but Thomas is correct, 100%.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. They're basing on a real pirate that was an Irish woman, but she's being played by a black woman because
Yeah,
you know
because
it.
apparently Hollywood hates gingers entirely.
You know,
At this point, that's just confirmed for me.
yeah, I don't. My problem with it is that diversity isn't an issue until it becomes your only issue. And that's and yes, Alex, we are going to talk about Star Trek 4. We're just waiting for Danny to get off work.
Yeah, we're just kind of
Um,
doing like the media roundup, so to
yeah,
speak.
so we will definitely get to Star Trek 4. I promise. We have it queued up and everything, but we're just kind of talking about whatever until Danny gets here.
Yeah.
Anyway, diversity isn't a problem until diversity is your only problem. Because I don't, I don't care what the race, gender, all that of your main characters are, as long as it's a good story. Now, if you're telling a story that's not any good, but the only selling point you have is race, gender, whatever,
Hmm.
then you got a problem. And so, like, when I see the casting, for example, for Fantastic Four, hey, you know what? Yeah, you could argue, well, Pedro Pascal is technically not white, and Reed Richards has always been white. But you know what? The cast looks enough like the Fantastic Four to where I'm not pissed off about any of them. You know, it's not like they made the Thing a girl or they made Reed and Sue lesbians or something. You know, they didn't they didn't do anything crazy. And unlike Fant Four Stick, they didn't try to race swap anybody blatantly or anything like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So looking and now the only one of the cast that I've not seen in anything is the guy playing the Thing. But you know, I looked at a couple of clips of stuff that he's done, and he looks like he could pull it
Oh,
off.
see, I haven't seen.
Yeah, I looked him up in a couple of things, and he was in Andor, but I don't really remember him from Andor because he was a small time character. He was one of the rebels that worked with Andor on that raid on the Imperial Depot. But
Okay, so we've got Pedro, and we've got what's her face, Vanessa Kirby. Okay, yeah, I can kind of. Yeah.
and there's a couple of pictures of her where, like, when she has her hair pulled back, she looks just like Sue from the '80s.
Hmm. I need a. Where's the other people? I'll probably just go to IMDb.
And the guy playing Johnny was Eddie in Stranger Things. I think that's a great pick.
Vanessa, Pedro, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss.
Yeah, Eben is the one that was the big unknown to me.
Yeah, he's the Ben Grimm. Yeah.
But the couple of clips that I saw of him, cool. And the funny thing is,
oh yes, I've seen him in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So it looks like a talented enough cast.
He was the bad guy in, or not the bad guy, but he was like a side bad guy of sorts in The Punisher.
Yes, he was in one of the Punisher movies.
Well, no, the series.
Oh, the series. Okay.
Do you remember the Netflix series? Remember there was this super hacker guy who had all this information?
Yeah. I was getting my Punisher.
Yeah, he played that guy.
And Malfeast, they have not said if Doctor Doom's going to even be in the movie yet. They have not released any information on villain or plot.
Yeah. Oh, and he was also in the show The Last Ship. I don't know if you've ever seen any of that. It was pretty good. And so, yeah.
The only things that they've released is the actual cast and a promotional picture of them drawn in comic book form of them as the Fantastic Four, and behind them is a picture of Ben as an astronaut. And the picture looked very reminiscent of old-timey, like Jack Kirby era Fantastic Four. And so that makes some people speculate that the movie is going to either take place in the 1960s or at least start in the 1960s. Which I think could be very interesting if they, like I suggested a long time ago. I did a video called How to Bring the Fantastic Four in the MCU, and I said you make it so that back in 1963, when the Fantastic Four was first published, you have Reed and the company, they're getting in their spaceship. The big deal with his spaceship, though, is that this ship was going to go near the speed of light, but he didn't take into account time dilation. So even though they're only gone for a matter of a few hours when the malfunctions happen and the cosmic rays hit them and all that, when they land on Earth, all of a sudden it's 60 years later.
Mm.
And so that's how you bring them into the modern era. But then you can, and this could be, if you, good writing is necessary. I know, but it's possible. But that you could have a really interesting fish out of water story about a family from the 1960s trying to adapt to living in the 2020s. You know, like, think about how would you feel, like, if you were from the 1960s and just plopped into today, and you look around at the world, you'd be like, what? So everything's crazy. Um, so I think that could be really interesting. Um, and the funny thing is, the only person that they could possibly have a real conversation with, is Captain America, but he's apparently living on the moon or something. So um, so I think that could work. And I would like to see them do something like that. Um, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, considering we can actually move into the next piece of catastrophic news for anything even Marvel adjacent, and that is Sony has decided to burn the house to the ground with Madam Web, which is crazy because we're talking about the same studio that gave us Spawn, or not Spawn, sorry,
Venom.
but Venom, and
which was a fun movie.
And the Carnage one, I actually enjoyed as well. I mean, I know it's not as preferred as the first of the two, but the reality is that what they've allowed Marvel Studios to do and what they have managed to do with those two movies didn't at all imply we were going to get the absolute dumpster fire that apparently this movie is, because everybody's hating on this, and like we were saying, everybody's hating on it.
Yeah, Madam Web is sitting at 14% on Rotten Tomatoes.
One of the guys that I watched review it said that the theater that him and his friend were in when they went to it, it was just the two of them. Mm-hmm. That's how little interest there is in it.
And Thomas wants to know...
Oh, that's a...
In 1898, when the USS Maine exploded, did you believe the media lied that Spain attacked it?
Now is that a slight on your age, or
just might be, yeah.
Thanks, but yeah, I mean, this is why I'm so skeptical. I mean, Madam Web is not new. It's previously existing content, and you would have figured that, I don't know much about it, but you would have figured that if it was dangerous from you're just going to go and create yourself another She-Hulk incident if you do this and you do it wrong. And then they walked right out in front of the bus like there was no bus.
Well, the problem is Sony keeps trying to make these Spider-Man adjacent films, and they suck at it. They had one hit with Venom, and everything else they've done has been an absolute dumpster fire. Mm-hmm. They've had a couple of good Spider-Man films back in the day, but each time they keep ruining the franchise. And so
there's a Star Trek tie-in I could use right here.
What's that?
That line from Kirk with Khan. You keep missing the target.
Yeah, they managed to kill just about everyone else, but yeah, they need to, so honestly at this point, and the funny thing is, most normies out there, which is of course the majority of people, most normies out there have no idea that this is not a Marvel movie. They just see the Marvel logo slapped on, and they think, wow, Marvel is really making nothing but dumpster fires now, and Marvel is trying to retool right now to fix things, but is Sony going to end up ruining any momentum? Like, is Madam Web's horrible performance, and deservedly so from what I've seen, going to impact Deadpool?
I don't know. I mean, I will say this as a general population reaction, because it was way more than just uh, the fandom menace that didn't go to Solo.
Right.
People gave up on Star Wars out of protest over the dumpster fire that was The Last Jedi.
Correct.
The last or the Solo was not a particularly bad outing. It wasn't awesome, but it wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you could very potentially, I mean, you've got people like me that are absolutely hedging their bets, and I refuse to spend $1 at the theater to go see Deadpool. And I'll tell you what, the big R word, recession, if that's really what's coming this year, which all indications are,
I think absolutely.
people are going to frickin' weld their wallets shut.
Right, and that's where it. And by the way, I think it's smart that Marvel's only putting out the one movie this year.
Yeah, it's probably the. I only eat Flintstones vitamins. Those are the best vitamins, man. If you force me to only be able to eat Flintstone vitamins,
No, you missed it yesterday. Alexander, you know, Crazy Alexander.
oh my goodness, are we talking about Quebecois Alexander?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So he came on, and he was literally he had a jar of Flintstones vitamins, just popping them like they were candy. And I was like, dude, you're gonna OD on those.
He's gonna. There's enough in there you could, even as an adult, I'm sure.
Yeah. So yeah, he was just crunching down on them.
Oh, that's special.
It was.
That is so special.
Speaking of dumpster fires, yeah, you should check out yesterday's live stream.
Oh my.
Oh man. This is why I don't do open line live streams anymore.
We need to have like special guests only, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm seriously thinking about just never doing an open line live stream again.
Well, it comes with risks.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
So,
but yeah, so with so many people absolutely willing to cut their financial output or
right.
outlay, there's like people are going to make
I'll
decisions.
I'll go see Deadpool, but if Marvel were releasing 8 movies this year, not this year.
Yeah.
You know.
No, people are going to start making choices. They're going to start figuring out just how little they're willing to spend, and that's going to be it. So if they start seeing warning signs that,
Speaking of dumpster fires, this is a dumpster fire that I may actually go see because I think this may end up being worse than Madam Web. And that is Godzilla X Kong. So behind us right now, you see the beginnings of the trailer for Godzilla X Kong, which, of course, yet another movie that's got to defile the pyramid somehow.
Why do people hate the pyramids so much?
And how much you want to bet they're going to say that like ancient aliens built them or something. I'm so sick of that kind of crap. It's like, why can't we just accept that the Egyptians, and in some cases using slave labor, made the pyramids?
Yeah.
Why can't we just accept that? It's not that hard to, the rocks are so big. Yeah, you know what? If you got 1,000 people pushing a rock, you can move a rock. And
yeah,
it works.
Oh yeah.
So what we see in the new trailer is that Kong apparently is now. I mean, okay, so they set this up. They say that Kong and Godzilla are not really enemies per se. They just don't like each other.
Yeah, whatever that means.
And Kong is the protector of humanity, while Godzilla is the protector of nature. And that's why they find themselves at odds.
Which is a slight way or a sneaky way of trying to say that people aren't natural.
Right. But or maybe the people are apes. I don't know. I mean, Kong does look more humanish, because he's an ape. But at the same time, I think that's kind of just stupid.
Yeah.
And so, but there's a big threat because Kong's, I don't want to say people, but there's apparently, even though when they went down into the Hollow Earth in the last movie, all they found was flying snake bat things
And a giant axe.
and a big old axe. But
Yeah.
now apparently there's a tribe of thousands of Kongs.
Yeah.
And led by Baby Kong here.
Or we might as well just call him Diddy Kong to
Yeah.
steal from the Nintendo franchise.
So you have all these Kongs, and then they're led by Ginger Kong here.
Yeah. Although it's the only ginger safe.
So Ginger Kong apparently is, and now Kong has his axe, but Ginger Kong has a whip. And,
Yeah, a whip made out of the spine of something.
Yeah.
Which is very.
But if there's all these hundreds of Kongs, why didn't they all come out and take down Godzilla and Mechagodzilla in the last movie?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just asking.
Yeah.
There's Kong fighting Ginger Kong. I mean, you see the spine whip there, and
Yeah.
very, very exciting. But apparently Kong is going to lose this fight or whatever, and then we see this, whatever this is.
Yeah. They don't really tell us in the trailer.
Whatever it is, it scares the crap out of both Kong and Godzilla, apparently.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is all we see of it. So take your best. What do you think it is?
Oh, I don't know the Godzilla franchise well enough to even bother to guess, because at this point.
Now, what I would love is if it's Space Godzilla.
But that breaks things, because you told me that Space Godzilla was the one that was actually pink.
No, was Space? Yeah, I think.
Or
Space
purple
Godzilla
or
was
whatever.
pink, yeah. So, but yeah, Space Godzilla was. But yeah, Space Godzilla though was demonstrably more powerful than Godzilla. Yes, I know.
Actually, Mr. Lundell, that is exactly what I'm predicting so many people are going to do this year.
Yeah. You know what, Mr. Lundell? Usually I would say yes, absolutely. But this one I think is going to be so bad that I'm going to want to see the failure on the big screen. I think this movie is going to be bad on epic proportions, just based on the trailers. Because if this is the best they could come up with in the trailers, this is going to be bad. And I do love this look on Kong's face. I mean,
yeah, legit.
Credit to the animators there.
Legit. Well, is that going to be us?
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the look on my face. His beard does look kind of like mine.
Yeah.
That's what my face is going to look like watching this movie.
What have they done?
But yeah, so whatever it is, it makes they say, oh, but Kong can't beat him alone, but he won't be alone because Godzilla will be with him. And I'm like, I love how they're narrating all this. How are they going to communicate this to the audience?
Yeah.
Like, are Godzilla and Kong going to start talking in this one?
That would be.
Oh man, I would love that. I would love that so much if Godzilla's like, "Hey, let's go team up,"
Or it's like, what was it? There was some show. I don't know if it was a cartoon or it was a commercial, and basically they had a dinosaur or something that eventually just it talked, but they put subtitles on the bottom of the
Yeah.
screen or something.
And like, well, we know Kong knows sign language.
Yeah.
So maybe they could sign to each other. I don't know. That was jeez. I would love to see that scene though. How are they going to communicate with each other to team up against Fire Monster?
Oh, this is so going to be a thing.
Yeah. And here's that cringeworthy scene of Kong and Godzilla running. And Godzilla is not supposed to run. But
Well, apparently he runs now.
yeah. But this is, and I'm sorry, pink-haired Godzilla just looks wrong. Yeah. I understand that in the various Toho movies, Godzilla has had a lot of different colors to his spines and stuff. But this looks like they're just trying to, make Godzilla into a feminist.
Something. I'm worried he might stop and try to explain things to everyone in the theater.
Yeah. And of course, it wouldn't be a really bad, big budget movie if there wasn't a sky beam.
As much as that was kind of made fun of almost prematurely in something like, I forget, I can't remember if it was one of the pitch meetings or whatever, but at this point, it's, yeah.
Yeah, Hollywood, stop making sky beams. We don't care.
No.
Sky beams are no longer an impressive visual effect.
Yeah, they're not cool. They're not as cool as you think they are.
Yeah. And then we see there's Godzilla shooting his atomic breath through the pyramid at Kong with his power glove.
Yeah.
This is gonna be so bad.
King Kong with a glove on, a power glove.
Yes. Made by the people that
No. Are you realizing how many points of conversion are going on here?
Well, I think this movie is made by Nintendo. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Potentially. I mean, because you got, of course, Kong is from the original, the Donkey Kong game.
Right.
And then you got a Power Glove, which was a product that was eventually made at some point.
Right.
And then Donkey Kong, which I know is not King Kong necessarily, but Donkey Kong ends up with Diddy Kong, which apparently is in this movie too.
Right.
Like, it's just...
All we need is an Italian plumber to save the day.
Oh, that would be some
Kong
kind of
throw a barrel at him.
Oh, that would be some kind of special.
So yeah, this is just all sorts of dumb. And so yeah, there's a good look at the glove. I mean, like, why does he have the Transformer glove on? I mean, I'm assuming he breaks his hand in the earlier fight or something, and so that's why they make it.
Yeah, my guess is it has something to do with whatever was going on.
Now, this is the one shot from the trailer that I got a chuckle out of. I still think it's good. And looks like we got, thank you so much, Jason. Says, another franchise ruined by Disney. I hereby resign as IT guy. I didn't know you were resigning, Jason.
Well, apparently, as long as the retirement package is good.
Oh, no. There is no retirement.
It's to the salt mines for you, Sonny.
No, this is the one shot out of the trailer that I got a good laugh out of. And I thought, you know what? If they go this cheese through the movie, I'll be down with it. And that is... we see Ginger Kong's tooth.
Oh, yeah. It crashes into the ground. Yeah. Yeah.
That was good. I got to admit, I like the giant.
It's
tooth.
playful.
Yeah. So, give me 2 hours of that, and yeah.
Yeah. This is how we're starting to feel about this right here.
Yeah. I want to see that too. Yeah, give Godzilla some web shooters.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, this movie is going to be all sorts of special.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we have a couple of drones attack. Now, right there, if you look carefully, that looks like Godzilla, right?
Yeah, but it's blue.
Right, but look carefully at the spines on his back.
Okay.
Does it look to you like there's more of them?
Kinda.
Because Space Godzilla looked just like Godzilla, but with elongated spines on his back. So I'm wondering if that's actually not Godzilla, if that's Space Godzilla.
But Space Godzilla would have been what came through the lava, so then that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Or you know what the worst would be? It would be like some of the criticisms I heard about Madam Web. Nothing makes any sense, and everything is just you're supposed to do this.
Yeah.
That the lava scene ends up not even actually being in the final movie.
No, yeah, the lava scene's probably not there at all.
Yeah.
In fact, none of what we see in the trailer is from the movie. That's actually from the upcoming video game.
Yeah, this is gonna be. Yeah, and then you got the big blue explosion, which I see. For me, it just felt like that was actually an earlier scene in the movie, and the trailer makers just put it in a stupid spot because they figured that was the best way to.
Right, because obviously from what we saw in the previous trailer and stuff, it looks like Godzilla's going to start out blue, like he was before, and then upgrade to the power of pink. Meanwhile, Kong gets a glove.
The power of math, people.
Yeah. And I do like they say, oh, look at this upgrade to the glove. And this is what we get. This is the big upgrade. How is that an upgrade? All you see is it clamps down on him.
No, I think they put a metal whip on it. I don't think that's the bone whip.
Ginger Kong's hand there.
Yeah, it looks kind of.
Is that really bad animation, or are all of his fingers broken?
I'm kind of thinking it's bad animation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. That's right. He punched the thing that dude was throwing. Yeah.
Because he's got the glove, so he can punch harder now.
Yeah. You've got the power.
Yeah. Godzilla X Kong, the new empire.
I mean, hey, look, maybe it turns into a great popcorn movie, and it's like watching Battleship, where you just enjoy yourself for the lunacy of it. But
that's what I'm hoping for, is that it's just so ridiculously stupid that it's fun.
I hope so, because I generally enjoyed the other stuff as much as I know there's issues here and there.
The problem,
TV show notwithstanding, because that can burn.
Oh, don't even get me started about that horrible show. But and John Gill's upset at you because you like Battleship.
Everybody's got to have a guilty pleasure, man.
And Mr. Lundell, of course, we know what the X is for. They're going to make out at the end.
Kisses.
Yeah. Everybody knows the X is for kisses. And O's are for hugs. So, the original title was going to be Godzilla XOX Kong. But, I think that we're going to get a giant, love scene with Godzilla and Kong at the end of the movie. And so, yeah, it'll be awesome. No, I was going to say the problem with the American Godzilla films, I'm talking about the legendary films, the current run. I'm not talking about the disaster with Matthew Broderick.
No one talks about that.
Yeah, that's a lot of fish. But in the problem with these movies is that the monster stuff is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
but the human characters, for the most part, have been lame.
Yes.
And so it's like every time we're focused in on the people, it's like, can we get back to the monsters, please?
Which is kind of frustrating in a certain way because they've had a decent cast in the movies.
Yeah, they've had some good actors. And I mean, all the way back to, I mean, they had freaking Bryan Cranston in the first one.
Well,
And,
between Brian, don't forget it, they had Watanabe in it as well.
yeah, Ken Watanabe was in the first two of them.
Yeah.
And, they've had a lot of good actors in these movies, but they just didn't write a good story for them. But then you look at and I know you haven't seen it yet, but that Godzilla -1,
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
I'll tell you, man, when you will be blown away by how good a Godzilla movie can be. I can't wait till that one is out on streaming because I am going to watch the crap out of it. I really, really that is my favorite Godzilla movie, and I've been watching Godzilla movies since the early '70s. So I love me some Godzilla.
Okay. You just reminded me I need to go add it to my Just Watch notification.
Oh, what? So does that tell you when something becomes available?
Well, I've talked about Just Watch before.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually add yourself an account and set it up with your email address, you can hit the notify me on TV shows and movies so that it'll let you know when it's available in your region.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, Mike Richards, I think they're going to actually, there's going to be a special director's cut called Godzilla XXX Kong, but that one will only be available in the back room of your video stores.
Yeah, may not be suitable for children. Or new rating may only be suitable for making children.
And Value of Nothing still calls it Twitter. Yeah, it's Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla tweets Kong. You see, the movie starts out like you see the giant monster. Godzilla's scared crapless, so he grabs a smartphone and starts tweeting.
That would be funny.
Hey, monkey boy, need your help.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh man, that's. I think that. This movie is going to be the dumpsteriest dumpster fire of the year. At least I hope so. Well, I mean, I haven't seen Madam Web. Now, Madam Web looks to me like, I mean, it's basically how many different female versions of Spider-Man can we shove in one movie? And by the way, one of the reviews I saw is like, you see all the Spider women superheroes. They're like 40 seconds of the movie.
Yeah. There's nothing to it. It's not good.
Yeah, and so I can't wait. That one I'm gonna definitely. I think we should watch it. Like we should all watch it for the first time together, just so we could roast the crap out of it.
Yeah, we might actually. That might be one of those ones where we try to tease the censor or the copy bots. Be like, come on, Sony, no one's watching this. This is the only way you're going to get any publicity on this show.
And John, you know what? I did watch Morbius. I will say this for Morbius. The movie is extraordinarily generic. That's its problem. It's not that it's bad. It's just bleh. It's not something that I'd be like, oh, cool. I want to see more of this guy. It's like, oh, I just watched that movie. That's it wasn't bad. It just wasn't.
It just was a thing. It happened. You watched it.
And then I'm done.
That was it.
If I were Jeremy Johns, I'd say, I forgot it in T-5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was the very definition of a generic movie. And Stan, I have not seen Blue Beetle yet. So I don't know how bad that one is.
I've heard that it was all right, but it was like extremely extremely formulaic was basically what I understood.
And writer Albert, Madam Web is an actual character, and this is a funny thing I heard somebody else mention also, is that Madam Web is a character from the Spider-Man comics that has never had her own book.
Yeah, she's just like a supporting character.
Yeah, and she's not even a very all she is like this chick that sits in a chair and sends Spider-Man on missions. That's pretty much her entire function. And if you've seen her in the animated series, that's all there is to her. She's not an interesting character. And in fact, I got to say, when the animated series brought in Madam Web, every time she came on, I was rolling my eyes. I did not care. And when I heard they were making a Madam Web movie, I was like, wow, you're taking the most uninteresting character from the Spider-Man verse and making a movie out of it. Way to go, Sony. Hey, I can't wait for that Kraven the Hunter movie later this year. That's
yeah.
Sony is seriously trying. They are the most incompetent major movie studio. I mean, I don't know how is this even possible.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, they're definitely going for some kind of an award.
Right. So Brian says, before all the current Marvel movies, TV shows, were there any Marvel movies, TV shows, cartoons that you enjoyed from the earlier decades, 50s, 60s, 70s? Yes. I liked. I know this is going to sound really bad, but I like the old Fantastic Four cartoon. I like the old Spider-Man cartoon, as silly as it was.
Oh, the super camp old one? Oh,
Yeah,
that was great
Spider-Man,
stuff.
Spider-Man. Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed a lot of the old Marvel stuff. As far as the animated stuff, I didn't really, their live action stuff was hit or miss. The Incredible Hulk show was good, but the Spider-Man show was absolute trash.
The live action one?
Yeah, the live action.
Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, that was coming out. I forget exactly when, how, but it was on its way. And the next thing I knew is I'm watching this absolute catastrophe of a show. And I'm like, what have
is
you
there a
even
trailer
done?
for X-Men 97 out, Stan? I didn't even know that. I mean, because I'm looking forward to that one, actually. Did you hear about X-Men 97?
I heard that it's already got the wokeism poison in it. No. They're turning one of the characters non-binary.
Oh, well, that's not surprising. Well, let's see. All right, I got the trailer up.
Bounding into comics has been all over a lot of this stuff, and they've been pretty savage.
I'm watching the trailer right now. Yeah, Marvel Animation. Does look like the same basic style. Of course, Danny wants to call while I'm trying to watch the trailer.
Of course.
Yes, Danny. Everybody can hear you, by the way.
No, I'm in Indy Mugs. Let me in, man.
Yeah,
Just a second. Da-da-da.
Hello? You could have said something. We would have heard you.
Yeah, we could hear you from even when I have your thing invisible.
Hey, yep, can hear you from.
Wow, you're way out of sync.
Okay.
Sorry, man. I got off later than anticipated. I had to wait for him to finish a phone call. I helped him close the. Can you guys?
Yeah, we can see you. We can see you. You're out of sync, but we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No, I helped him close a new deal for an HOA. So maybe I'll get to keep this job. We'll see. So, but it's really cramping. It's really cramping my podcast thing, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw my. I put a couple comments in the chat earlier. I was like, I might
saw
have
that
to
you
quit
commented.
this job.
I didn't see what you said because
Yeah.
I was busy, looking at the Kong trailer.
There's a new Kong trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for the last like half an hour or so.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry.
It's all right. How far are you from home?
Probably like 20 minutes. So I figure,
Well, hurry up, get your butt home. Just don't get in a wreck or anything.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm good. We can talk.
Well, you don't want you to get hurt. I'm watching the X-Men trailer right now.
Although I hope my car's overheating for some reason. I don't know what's going on. So I'm doing that old trick my dad taught me. I got the heat on blast.
Yeah, that does help a little bit.
Yeah. But it's like redlining. I'm worried.
Yeah.
Just when I think things are going better, I got a job and life seems to be going better. Like, yeah, dude, like my engine's at the tippity top of the hot.
Yeah, I would don't run anything that you don't need to. And don't rev it.
Yeah, no, I've got the heat on blast on the feet, so I got my window open so I don't sweat to death. But it's coming down a little bit. That's good. Jesus, man. So I just want to apologize. I've seen a lot of people in the chat kind of bitching that we're not talking about Star Trek. It's 100% my fault. And to my defense, I did text Michael 5 hours ago because my boss had already told me. He's like, "There's no way you can leave at 2 today." I was like, "Okay, well," he's like, "probably around 3:30," and here it is, 3:53, and I just left a couple minutes ago. So. You guys there?
Yeah, no, we're here. Yeah. What are you doing, Mike?
I'm reading this article because I'll tell you, watching the X-Men 97 trailer, it doesn't look any more quote-unquote woke than the original X-Men cartoon.
Yeah.
It just looks like an extension of the X-Men cartoon. And maybe, with slightly different animation style. But now, when I'm reading this article about it, the wokeness about it that people are complaining about is like the girl that's voicing Jubilee is now is a different actress because they wanted to cast an Asian actress to voice Jubilee because she's Asian. Now, I will say this, as far as anime characters, I don't give a crap what the race of the actor is.
Yeah, I don't care.
Samurai Jack is one of my favorite Asian characters in all of cartoondom, and it's voiced by a black guy. So Phil Lamar, and so he does a great job. But if they want to be more authentic, I don't give a crap as long as the show's good.
Yeah.
Now, but as far as the actual trailer is concerned, there's nothing about the trailer that sets off any red flags for me.
Okay.
But
well, apparently whatever the info is print info that
Right.
Bounding into Comics was commenting on. So
right. But yeah, and like they say, oh, LGBT folks will like the show because they have characters like how Rogue is always struggling with accepting herself for who she is. That doesn't mean Rogue is suddenly a lesbian. It just means that Rogue is a character who's always struggled, and this is true all the way back. Rogue has always had this problem
Yeah.
because of her powers, because the fact that if she touches you, you essentially die. And so, she has to accept the fact that she'll never have direct human contact, and that's a very tough thing. But yeah, I don't give a crap. I'm just,
Shit.
I think it's people just trying to dig stuff up because it's popular to do.
Yeah.
But we'll see when the show comes out. If it's good, I'll say it's good. If it sucks, I'll say it sucks. You guys know me.
Yeah. What's the matter, Danny?
Oh, the sun. That's what's the matter.
Deserts.
And he's dead. He just drove into the sun, and he's dead.
Oh, there you successfully drove out of the sun, I see.
You all right? You there, Danny?
I don't think his audio's coming in through from us.
Jacked up. So we'll let Danny stare into the sun. He really looks like he's driving right in. He's a Denovan. I'm free. I'm free. Oh man. And yeah, Stan, I would say if the show is meant to truly be a follow-up to the original X-Men animation, I don't think it's going to be suddenly everybody's talking about their sexuality. I really don't. And if they do, I will complain. I'll be the first to complain about it because I think it'll be inappropriate. But the flavor of if you watch the trailer, maybe I'm missing something. But the trailer just feels like the animated series.
No, I don't think the issue is in the trailer. I think it's in all the supplementary info that's available.
But you know how it is, like when people say, "Oh, well, this character is really non-binary," when in actuality, there's nothing non-binary. Like Dumbledore was gay, right? No, Dumbledore wasn't gay. They just said that to be popular.
No, they actually made him gay.
No, I know they did later. But when Harry Potter came out, Dumbledore wasn't gay.
No, I know.
That's my point. And not that I care about it because I haven't even watched it.
No, but unfortunately, it just adds to the whole the meme from South Park.
Yeah, put a chicken to make her gay,
and the inevitability it seems that everything is going to have this happen to it.
I hope not. And honestly, like I said, the trailer looks good. I'm looking forward to it.
There's a clumsy sentence to always read. What? He wasn't not.
He wasn't not gay either. Well, that's the thing. With a character and again, I'm not a Harry Potter aficionado by any stretch. I've seen like the first 2 or maybe 3 movies, and that's it. But and I haven't read any of the books. However, Dumbledore's sexuality is not a part of the story, at least from what I could see, right? He's a mentor figure to Harry.
Yeah, it was never a thing.
They're not lovers or anything.
They only turned it into a thing in the
Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, that series of movies. And there is concern for sure, Stan, because when you turn something into a one-dimensional everything,
right?
Then it's beyond preachy.
Sure, and I agree. And look, if all of a sudden, if you look at the basic premise of the X-Men '97 cartoon is Charles Xavier is dead. The X-Men have to learn to move on without him, and the big reveal is Charles Xavier's last will and testament left the mansion and everything to Magneto.
Yeah,
and so and by the way. That was in the comic books. When Charles Xavier was thought to be dead, Magneto took over the X-Men. And so And remember, Magneto isn't technically a villain. He's the Malcolm X to Xavier's Martin Luther King.
Yeah,
And-
in almost a more true sense than people want to necessarily give credit on that too, because that's kind of the parallel that was being drawn.
Well, it was
back
it was
in the
intentional
day.
all the way.
Yeah.
And so so that actually goes with the comic books, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And in fact, I think that could be interesting depending on how they do it, because Magneto has to learn to temper himself if he's going to work with the X-Men.
Yeah.
And the X-Men have to learn to accept that he's genuinely trying to play by Charles's rules. And which is difficult considering how his intentions in the past have always been very nefarious.
Well,
So,
see, Ariel, the problem is in the movies, they kind of went a little. Yeah, there's a reason why people don't like the second and third X-Men movie.
I don't like any of the X-Men movies.
No, you really don't like
I've
any of them.
hated on them a lot because especially the one that everybody likes to rave about, Days of Future Past, is the biggest insult to the X-Men franchise that there is. Because if you want to see what an awesome, spectacular, insanely good superhero movie would be, read the original Days of Future Past. But I think it was Chris Claremont that wrote that one. It was so good.
You should try. You should try Shakespeare in the original Klingon.
Yeah, well, the original Days of Future Past it wasn't all focused in on Wolverine just because Wolverine was a popular character.
Well, see, and just as a side note, some of the things that have gone on, this is why I think some franchises, whether they're TV shows or movies, I think this is why some franchises run into issues, is that you end up with either a subpar casting for a particular role, or you end up casting somebody in a role and it bloody knocks it out of the park so much that it's actually distracting and becomes, because it affects the producers and the bottom line, it affects everything else going forward. The focus changes from what it should have been to the character or other couple characters perhaps that have a bigger draw.
And let me correct John Gill on a couple of things, because no, Days of Future Past is not a Bishop and Cable story at all. If you read the original Days of Future Past, the people, it was Franklin Richards and Magneto that helped Sprite, who was the youngest member of the X-Men at the time, send her mind back in time to prevent the assassination of Senator Kelly that triggered the Sentinel Project. And so Bishop and Cable came into it later.
Definitely the wrong franchise.
Yeah, not that Bishop, yeah. Bishop and Cable came into it later because they started, Days of Future Past became legendary as far as how good it was, so they kept revisiting the story. But the original Days of Future Past, there was no Bishop or Cable in it. And so it was... last season of Discovery starts just for my birthday. Awesome. What a great present.
Blech. Here is a bag of poo for you.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
But the best part is it's a bag of poo that will last for 10 weeks. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing.
But the movies, though, they sucked through and through. They did not embrace anything about the X-Men. Now, the Deadpool movie looks like they're going to actually bring in the actual X-Men for because Deadpool, the funny thing is that Deadpool's the only time we got any accurate X-Men. Colossus in Deadpool is freaking Colossus. The Colossus we got in X2 and X3, I don't know who that guy was, but he wasn't Colossus. But I love Colossus in Deadpool. The only problem is he never turned human for some reason. He just stayed in metal form. But hey, whatever. But he
choices.
looked like Colossus. He acted like Colossus. He
Yeah.
was Colossus.
Yeah.
You know, and so I liked, watching that Colossus fighting Gina Carano. I would watch that all day long. That was freaking awesome.
On a side note, it
Mhm.
still surprises me when I pay attention to the fact that was Gina Carano,
Oh yeah,
because she was so bulked up for that
yeah, she was in her full on mixed martial
fighting.
arts
Yeah,
mode. Yeah.
yeah. Because there are times when she's way slighter than
Yeah.
that.
Well, like when you
And
see her in Mandalorian, she's a lot smaller.
yeah,
But yeah, she was awesome in that, but Colossus, like everything about him, like right down to the fact that when her boob came out, and he was like, oh, and Colossus was probably the most innocent of the X-Men, and so I could absolutely see that. And Colossus and Nightcrawler had some really interesting times too, and stuff that they just completely missed out on, because the X-Men were people want to say, oh, everything's trying to go woke. Do the X-Men right, and you don't have to go woke, because the X-Men are the most international group there's ever been. Every single member of the X-Men's from a different country. Once the Uncanny X-Men phase started.
yeah.
So you had Nightcrawler from Germany, you had Colossus from Russia, you had Sunfire from Japan, you had Storm from Kenya. They were just obviously the Canadian representative was Wolverine, who was supposed to be short and ugly, not a freaking underwear model.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of y'all that don't like that. And
Yeah. And so I would absolutely love to see that team of X-Men. And Colossus, by the way, being he was a true true product of the Soviet era. Remember, he came around in the late 70s. So he was a communist.
yeah, the
And-
whole framework for his character was so different than, the last, whatever it's been now, 30, 40, 30 years?
Yeah.
30
yeah,
years.
He was a communist, and he was an atheist. And so he and Nightcrawler had some really interesting conversations, because Nightcrawler is a devout Catholic.
It's been 33 years since the fall of communism in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, I know.
Holy cow.
So if you did the X-Men right, you don't have to stretch to make it woke. It writes itself, because you have such an interesting international group, and they can have some interesting conversations about their differences, but learn to work together as a team. Now, what I think we're going to end up getting, because notice, so we have a comic book accurate Wolverine in the Deadpool movie. We had, I don't know if you saw it, but we in a cameo, we have a comic book accurate Beast in the Marvels. Did you see that?
In which one? Sorry.
The Marvels.
Yeah, I saw the end credit scenes.
Yes. So so the Marvels end credits Beast looks like Beast from the comics. And he's he was a CG creature. And so if you do Colossus and you do the Beast and you do Wolverine, you've already got 3 classic X-Men right there, and all looking comic book accurate. I think if Deadpool brings in the X-Men all being comic book accurate into the MCU, man, that could make a big difference. That, I'm telling you, this is, between that end credit scene of the look, I still haven't made it through the entire movie, The Marvels Awake, but that end credit scene is a great scene, because
that is the worst possible endorsement for a movie. I have yet to make it through this
It's a-
movie and stay awake.
It's a dumb movie. That's the problem. And it makes no sense.
That's
honestly think
just-
we should watch it together
Oh,
because we could talk about all the dumb things that make no sense.
do we need a 5-hour?
Oh yeah, it would definitely be a 5-hour.
I don't know. I don't know. Danny would kill us for that one.
I know, but that would be.
I think
fun.
you and I might be able to pull that one off, and even that might be a stretch for me. But
because there's just so many things where you're scratching your head, saying, "Wait, why? Huh?"
yeah,
And so many things that don't make sense with other things. Like remember, okay, so the Secret Invasion. Right, your favorite series that Marvel.
yeah.
So Secret Invasion, the whole point of Secret Invasion was that the Skrulls were mad at Nick Fury for never finding them a home planet, and Nick Fury was depressed because he let down the Skrulls. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So in the Marvels, we find out the Skrulls do have another planet that they've settled. They have an entire working government. They have,
What?
and Nick Fury, by the way, is a happy guy again.
Do these people know how to write?
So the only thing that makes any kind of sense is that the Secret Invasion was in another universe. That's
What is even going on?
Yeah, the Skrulls have an entire colony on another planet.
I'm just confused now
Yeah,
because I would like my movies to make sense.
well,
at least a
that's
little
what I'm
bit.
saying. It's like they were producing Secret Invasion and the Marvels at the same time, and I guess they kind of forgot about each other. But you have certain people like Samuel L. Jackson is in both, so why didn't he say something?
He's collecting a paycheck.
Yeah, but come on,
Dude's gonna retire. The Dead Sea Scrolls.
All right, John.
That's good.
That's your best line so far.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
And by the way, Ariel, not only do the Skrulls not need someone from Earth to find them another planet, but it was Captain Marvel, not Nick Fury, that promised that she would help them find another planet.
Yeah.
And they took off in a spaceship. How did they end up back on Earth? I mean, none of it makes sense.
Mm-mm.
So hopefully, I'm hoping Deadpool will help, make a little bit more sense out of it, and at least kill a few people along the way.
Well, at least if there's a modest amount of satisfaction along those lines, then
Yeah. Send them to the singing planet. Oh my gosh.
see, that's why I really don't want to watch this movie, because
Oh no, the singing planet is because man. First of all, you have not lived until you see Brie Larson singing her lines, but the or whoever that was dubbed over Brie Larson. But the because maybe it was Brie Larson, but if
Hey.
it was, man, it didn't sound like her. That's all I'm saying. But the singing planet makes no freaking sense. I almost said GD. It's that bad. It makes no freaking sense at all. Because okay, you have a planet, because the way she says their language is singing. No, their language is English. They just sing the words.
what?
So it would be like if you and I are having a conversation, I was like, the Marvels makes no sense when I watch it. That's how they talk. Right? Hey, and Yosef.
Hey,
is here.
Yosef.
Thank you so much Says the Marvel universe is under no obligation to make sense to you.
Clearly.
To paraphrase Neil Tyson, by the way, did you cover fantastic forecasting? We talked about it a little bit. I will tell you, Joseph, that I think that the cast looks good. But I'll wait and I want to see what the movie's going to be about. Is it going to be another Doctor Doom rehash? Is it going to be Galactus? Is it going to be something I would love it, honestly, if they just copied Fantastic Four #1 and brought in the Mole Man. Just throw everybody off and have the Mole Man come out of nowhere and dig up a hole under New York City. So the singing thing. So if I sang you those words versus speaking those words, would you have any difference in understanding other than looking at me weird because I was singing?
No.
Right.
Because it makes no sense. The only way that makes even remote sense is if you're talking about dialects of certain kinds of langues, right. like various
clicking languages, or
no, even more so more. The biggest of all deals is Mandarin and Cantonese, where there is ever so tiny of differences in pronunciation actually may either make the word mean something else entirely, or they are an entirely different word. So it's like in English, context is driven by usage, but in some languages, context is actually driven by the way you pronounce it.
And thank you, Ariel. I appreciate the compliment on my wonderful singing voice. I'll try to sing more often for you. Throw me some money.
But no, it's like,
in fact, for a $20 super chat, I'll read whatever you put on the super chat.
You're gonna open that door again, are you?
Well, I'm broke. But the singing, so the singing makes no sense, because to me, at best, if I'm speaking instead of singing, it would be like someone having an accent.
Yeah.
So if I came in and was talking like a Scotsman or something, that would be the equivalent of speaking instead of singing. But because at least the way that they presented it, because they didn't change anything that they would say. They just sang the words. And somehow there was musical accompaniment.
Accompaniment?
Yeah, sorry. Brain not working. Shutting down after watching the Marvels. But you see, I still don't know how it ends exactly. That's the funny thing.
This is the song that never ends.
I got to try to get through that movie because I want to know how it ends, because it makes no freaking sense, and I'm hoping that somehow it comes together at the end.
It just goes on and on, my friends.
You sound like Forrest Gump trying to sing.
Johnny told me I was supposed to sing.
Then Danny shows up like West Side Story. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's man. I just don't understand. I don't understand why these outfits have such a hard time understanding how to write anything anymore.
Well, that's why I think, and I do know that, like, the whole thing that Kevin Feige was talking about is that, when they put the brakes on 2024, is that they need to start focusing on quality over quantity. And because obviously post Endgame, they started pushing quantity.
Oh yeah, that's beyond
and
question.
That was really the problem. They didn't have a focus. They didn't have a direction. They just say, hey, put a chick in it, make her gay. Go,
Yeah.
And
we need to expand our market in every way imaginable, even if it burns other markets to the ground.
Yeah. Which, and they still don't understand. And I don't understand how they can be this stupid. I really don't, because these are not dumb people. right? That run these companies. These are not dumb people.
Well, they're
I know.
definitely.
Wait. I know it feels like it is, but they're not.
They
See,
seem to be going out of their way to try to prove what everyone feels. We'll definitely leave it that way.
yeah. And you're right. Jason doesn't want to have any fun. He hates fun.
Oh, fun is boring.
Just him and his multiple houses and burning torches. But yeah, the and Michael, the funny thing is, yes, I get that they don't want to take risks. And look, if you're going to roll the dice with $200 million, you're not going to want to take big risks either, right? I get that,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they've proven exactly what works. What works is that you put out a product that is consistent with Marvel Comics from the late 70s, early 80s. Because when you look at phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, that's what they did. And those movies made the biggest movie franchise in history. But then when they started saying, "Oh, just throw whatever out there," all of a sudden numbers started going down, and people started losing interest.
Yeah, pretty much people stopped wanting to eat the spaghetti when they realized they were just throwing the whole basket at the frickin' wall to see what was done or not.
Yeah. So hopefully that they'll understand. Like Deadpool, the one thing that Deadpool has going for it is the driving force of Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
And because Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, you can't recast because people would riot in the streets.
Ooh.
And
Yeah.
And Ryan is not going to put up with watering down Deadpool.
You know, one of the other things that's kind of nice with Ryan being as involved as he is, because he's very hands-on with all of his business proceedings.
Yeah, and he's a smart businessman. We've seen that over
well,
and over.
Well, the one easy thing that we can all take comfort in is he had Green Lantern hung around his neck, and he has no desire to do that ever again.
Yes, but you know what? I love the fact that he owned it in Deadpool 2.
Oh no, I completely he absolutely owned every bit of it that he could, because that's the best way to deal with it, is take it head on. But I just, he's not one to want to suffer fools, it seems.
John Gill says, realistically, who else could play Deadpool other than him? I don't know at this point, because he has so perfectly personified the character.
If it was earlier in time, the only other person that I would dare to suggest would be Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I could see Jim Carrey from like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, like first Mask movie Jim Carrey could possibly pull that off.
Yeah. But maybe if you go all the way back to the 80s, maybe like a Robin Williams.
Yeah, that's also potential.
It would be a very different Deadpool, but it could work.
Yeah.
You know, you need somebody who has really good comedic timing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's why, like, Jim Carrey, Robin Williams are really the only two comedic actors I can think of that have that level of comedy timing, where you could see them breaking the fourth wall and enjoying it.
Yeah.
I don't think George Carlin would be a good pick, Ariel. I don't. George Carlin's a funny guy, but George Carlin, if you see him act, he's not that kind of an actor.
No, there's some people that they could do a certain thing and they're very good at that, but that's all there is to it.
Don Knotts, I'll tell you, if you were making Deadpool back in the 60s, absolutely, Don Knotts would be a good pick. Sylvester Stallone as Deadpool. That would be funny in a very different way.
Yeah. That'd be more like a case of of some kind of weird combination of I don't know, like Judge Dredd. And,
It would just be hilarious.
yeah.
So yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger is Deadpool. I will break the fourth wall.
Yeah, actually, you know what was not too bad. I mean, it's a bit camp, but I enjoyed it. Was the State Farm commercial with Arnold and what's his name, Danny DeVito.
I never saw that.
Oh, it's on YouTube now.
I
That
assume
the
it came
Super
out when
Bowl's.
Twins was the thing.
No. This was for the Super Bowl.
No, what, recently?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's freaking funny. It's funnier for people like us that grew up on DeVito and Sylvester or Schwarzenegger, and of course anyone who saw Twins first run and stuff like that. Like it means a lot more to us. But yeah, it was good. Neighbor. And everyone was trying to get him to say the R sound.
Where the heck is Danny? He should have been here by now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hope he didn't run into the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, check the news. It's like middle-aged Nevadanite found lodged squarely in the sun.
Is that the word Nevadanite?
I don't know. I just kind of pulled that one out of the air. I
Nevadanite
might just be
sounds like something you would mine in the desert.
something from Minecraft add-ons or something. I
That's
think it's
true.
just
He did say
Nevada.
his car was overheating. Hopefully,
yeah, he might have had to pull over.
Yeah. So, well, I'll try to call him if we don't hear from him in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
He passed off from running the heat full blast in the.
Hey, that's a legit risk though. In you live in the desert. I mean, I know it's the winter, but still.
Yeah,
you live in the desert.
Winter there means it drops down to 80 degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so stupid hot there.
Yeah.
I couldn't take it. I have to, it's funny because even though it's winter here, now that I'm in the upstairs room, I have to use the air conditioner more than the heat. Because with all the computer stuff that I have in this room and the fact that it's upstairs, so it heat.
Yeah.
It gets pretty warm in here. And so I usually have to turn the AC on to bring it down to about 70. I don't know what it is in weird Canadian units, but
Well, 70 is basically around 18, which is quite comfortable. We usually have the house set at 69, 70. Yeah. Believe it or not, if you walk over to the control panel in my house, it's in Fahrenheit.
So Joseph, we haven't gotten to the voyage home yet because we're waiting for Danny to make it home.
Yeah, there's something oddly poetic about what's going on.
Yeah. When are we reviewing the Black Mirror Star Trek episode?
Oh, have you ever seen that episode?
I don't know if I've seen that particular. You'd have to. I've only seen a couple episodes of Black Mirror. I'm not into.
Oh, okay. It's a season 4 episode. I think it's the opening episode. There's a software designer who's figured out how to actually super duper virtual reality you into a game.
Okay, I think I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember what happened.
It's pretty wild. It would be worth rewatching and then maybe doing like a not Trek content that's Trek adjacent.
It's a Netflix show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Once I have my Netflix set up, I'll do that now.
I very much I liked almost all of Black Mirror right up until season 5. And season 5 just fell flat. And I started watching season 6.
I'll be honest, nihilistic shows like that just don't do it for me. For the most part, I'm not saying they're all bad, but I dark. But
I took them as cautionary tales. I didn't take them as nihilism. And from what I understand, the creator intended them to be cautionary tales. But a lot of people saw them
nihilistic to me.
Yeah, a lot of people saw them that way. You're not the only one.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just like I said. That's how it felt. And to me, like, I like dark if it's like, I love The Expanse. The Expanse is very dark. Um, but uh, but The Expanse doesn't feel like true nihilism to me.
Well, especially considering the lead character is effectively a composite version of Don Quixote, who's
In
like,
The Expanse, I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
like he's endlessly hopeful.
Yeah.
Even in his downtroddenness, he's still like, yeah, well, we still got to go do the right thing.
Ariel. I am perfectly willing to admit that sometimes I'm wrong. I'm absolutely. It's just, here's the thing. I will, when I'm arguing with somebody about something, I will argue passionately and wholeheartedly. But if I'm proven wrong, I'm wrong, and then I'll argue for whatever I've been convinced of passionately and fervently, because that's just the kind of guy I am.
I think sometimes people mistake the
They mistake the passion for bullheadedness.
Well, not just that, but sometimes when it is just shtick, they mistake the shtick for serious.
Well, and
you're not completely, like, you're not incapable of sarcasm, but sometimes in your gruffness, your sarcasm disappears. I
get that. Yeah, I can be very sarcastic. The problem is nobody but me knows when I'm being sarcastic.
So yeah, I think sometimes that happens and people kind of miss that particular aspect.
Right.
But
like, okay, so last night, John, is a great example, because so me and LDG were arguing, and the funny thing is, at one point I told LD that he was just arguing semantics, and I'm not kidding, right? LD's response was, I'm not arguing semantics. I'm just trying to tell you what this word means.
That's literally what
that's what I was like. I was like, that is literally semantics, but whatever.
Yeah.
And my whole point was that I think that spending money on getting views and getting subs is a complete waste of your money, especially to grow your channel. I can totally understand if you make a video that you feel is an absolute masterpiece, throwing a little bit of promotion behind it, I'm okay with that. But A, don't throw a ton of promotion behind it. And B, if people aren't gonna watch it organically, it's not gonna, do you any good.
No, it won't. It literally won't actually matter. If you read the fine print on all that, like, it literally stops mattering.
Yeah. And yeah, Stanley, when that is, oh, and Danny's here, looks like.
Hey, maybe. Yes. Yeah, the spinny thing is gone. I was like,
yeah.
Proof of life is the spinny
he's
thing.
He's
is
working
gone.
on it, I think.
No, that's good.
But yeah, and so we were arguing fervently, and I still maintain that I think he's wrong. I don't think, because part of the problem is not, he was saying, oh, well, I'm not saying that it's how you make a channel successful. Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, well, and kind of were too.
And you kept saying, like, your video even says, we were triumphant because you got 42,000 views and 20,000 subs. And it's like, no, you weren't, because you paid for the views and the subs aren't going to watch all your videos.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't help you.
No, exactly.
Danny, you there? Check.
Hello.
There he
is.
Hey, dude, I'm screwed.
Uh-oh.
My car's effed, man. I didn't blow the engine, but I did have to pull over. That's what took me so long, because it started. I could literally see. Yeah, I could literally see smoke. I'm effed. I'm so effed. Why is it? I finally feel like I'm getting ahead in life, and then something like this happens. You know what I mean?
That's life.
Yeah, it sucks.
Trust me.
Oh my God.
From someone who has had more problems like that I can count, that is life.
Well, look, in my
life
defense,
is pain. Anyone that tells you different. Or as
trying to
remember,
sell you something.
Deadpool was like life. Life is what? What did he say? It's like nothing but torture and hell with brief moments of happiness.
Yeah.
It's paid for. And that's my problem. It's a 2006 Hyundai Azera. It's actually a nice car, but it is old, and I'm worried. So I'm
Your
gonna.
mom thinks you should just pee on the radiator.
I don't think that actually works, Mom. It's not a jellyfish, but that's fine.
Well, also, it's not 1968, and it's not a Studebaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
I mean,
Oh my God.
This
has been. It was a good day at work. Like I helped my boss close a deal, and he was very happy about that. So fingers crossed, I might make it through this probationary period. But I need to close at least like 2 more before April 15th to keep said job.
Well, Joseph thinks you should just get a Beamer.
Oh yeah,
that'd be nice. Hey, you know what, Joseph? Send me money, bro, and I'll get one.
Actually, no, you don't want that, because if Joseph is actually being cute, if something goes wrong with it, every 5 minutes when it breaks.
No, Stan, it's not a sales position. I've said this many times. Sorry, I haven't got to eat.
Well, that's right.
All day. So it's no, it's not commission, it's salary. I'm basically a glorified assistant. So the name of the position is director of operations. But basically he just gives me a list of stuff to do, and I do it. And the biggest thing at the top of that list is helping him send out bids. So it's a lifeguard company. So out here in Vegas, we got tons of like hotels and HOAs and community pools.
So you guys provide lifeguards?
Yeah, they provide lifeguards. Gotcha. And so I had to I sent out a bid this morning, and then because I don't know F all about lifeguarding, my boss talked to the dude, and then closed the deal. So that was good. So, yeah. Well, I'm here now. I'm so sorry. I haven't even got to like send out
talk to your boss about getting you a company car.
Well, if my engine blows, I'm going to need one, because he does have me drive all over the place. And the only thing, like, it's like 70 degrees here today, even though it's winter. And I had to have the heat on full blast to keep my engine from blowing up. And then on the way here, it was just redlining. It was just, and so I had to pull over, for a little bit and let it cool down. Because
how's the antifreeze levels and stuff? Did you check it?
No, I didn't check it because I need to I'll check it after the show.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you got to let the car cool down. Yeah,
burning to death is a bad plan.
Hopefully it's just low, and you just need to get some fluid in there, and you'll be good.
Yeah, if you're really fortunate. Yeah, and don't put water in it. Put proper mix.
I do have antifreeze.
You do have a jug.
Yeah,
of actual antifreeze, not windshield washer fluid, but antifreeze, right?
Yes.
Or you just pee in it, according to your mom.
Mom,
you check the oil as well.
Well, I do know I need an oil. I'm like 500 miles past due for an oil change, and with an older car like that, it's that might be what's causing the issue. So I'll get an oil change tomorrow, or try to. Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, check the oil level too. If you're at the very least, if you're past due, check your oil level just to make sure that you're not low.
Yeah,
because the light on the dash is quite honestly an idiot light. It tends to only ever tell you when it's
way too late.
Yeah.
So Joseph thinks it's the thermostat.
That's a sticking thermostat is a very regular occurrence on so many vehicles. that one doesn't even matter. Like, you could be the best Toyota ever, and if it's old enough, yeah, that's gonna happen.
Well, this is a Hyundai. Yes. Hyundai.
Hyundai.
Hyundai. All right.
Also
So
known as a piece of crap.
hey, man. Hey.
They're not
Speaking
all.
of
Hey,
giant
look,
pieces of
I'll be
crap.
the first one to. Yeah, I know the start of this movie. No, I'll be the first one to call out bad cars, but not all Hyundais are the same. So
I understand, but I don't like them. So And,
well, I'm actually been a pretty loyal Hyundai owner. I had a Sonata, I had an Elantra, I had I had 3 different Entourages. Those were their minivan. But
you see, if you've had that many of them, that should tell you that they're not that good.
no, well, the reason I've had that many of them is because car accidents. So
so you were.
hold up.
It was Mulligan time.
We're live, and I'm finally here. Join us. Whoops. Join Nerd Fights for our review
A very brief review
of Star Trek for
The search for
voyage.
more whales.
The Voyage
floating
Home.
turd.
Star Trek 4, the Christmas movie.
Right?
Remember, I can't see the chat now that I'm controlling the movie.
Finally here with at Salty Trekker, and I wish you would fix your caps, man. That Geeky Canuck. That
Well, you know what a jerk that Jason is, so he's never gonna fix
Geeky. We're live, and I'm finally here with Salty Trekker and That Geeky.
I didn't, but Cap, the case doesn't matter in the naming.
No, I know, but it's just my OCD. All right, so I just did the tweet. If you want to retweet it or whatever, feel free. But
hopefully we will increase our people count.
Yes, yeah. I only have 2 people in my chat, and we have 31 in yours. Been sticking. I guess people really want to get our opinion on the one with the whales. So,
Well,
they were holding on through all of our rambling here.
Yeah, we've been rambling about all sorts of stuff.
I am so sorry. I did, in my defense, I did text you like 5 hours ago.
Oh no, that was he asked me if I wanted to wait or if we just wanted to ramble, and we did get a few people throw in a couple bucks, so it was worth the ramble.
Yes.
Cool. Well then, shall we? All right.
We open up with Christmas music.
Yeah. So well, let's start out with, I'll say this. So we watched this movie on Saturday, or I should say, Danny watched this movie on Saturday. The rest of us just got to watch Danny because he wouldn't shut up.
Oh man,
is it on supportsalty.com? Have you uploaded it?
I don't remember if I uploaded that one yet.
You need to get that up.
Yeah,
fast.
You do, because he's not kidding. I got yelled at the whole time because I didn't do it on purpose, but I was reciting like
so
every
annoying.
line. I'm sorry.
So
It was. I had the most fun not watching a movie in a long time.
Yeah, you were just enjoying my blood pressure.
I would sit and watch.
He kept yelling at me, and I was even like, there were times where I was just lip syncing, and you were like, Danny, shut up. And I'm like,
yeah, but you weren't. That's the bad part. Yeah. Okay, everyone who's ever been interested,
into your mic and you're just like,
if anyone has ever been interested, even if it's just for a month, throw in for a Patreon to go watch this. You will see and hear Danny's inability to actually lip speak, and that's it. Like, no, not whisper, but just like mouth movements. That's Danny has on and off.
Apparently so, man.
That's the problem. There was
I honestly didn't mean to, but I didn't realize. And what's crazy is I didn't even do that for Wrath of Khan, which is my favorite. I guess I've just seen this movie so much; it's just embedded in my DNA. I just couldn't help myself. I just
let's see what was the date that we watched it?
It was Saturday, whatever that is.
Yeah, thanks.
I know.
The 11th. No, you got the 10th. The 10th.
Okay,
the
10th.
The 10th.
I was gonna say you got 3 guys. All of us operate on what day of the week is it, and do I need to take the garbage out yet?
Yeah. All right, I'm downloading it now because I do have Star Trek 3 posted, but I don't have Star Trek 3.
This is the funniest comment Yosef's ever made.
Yeah. I couldn't hear the movie. The entire time, all I could hear was Danny, and the worst thing is because the audio was slightly out of sync. So Danny would always say the line like a half a second after they said the line, and so it was really, really annoying.
Well, on my screen, I was in perfect sync. But,
I'm sure you think you were, but on my screen. It was like you'd see the guy. I think it's a probe captain. Then you'd be. I think it's a probe captain. You know. Like, I know.
It's almost like it's almost. You're reminding me of the cover of the song. I think we're alone now.
Yeah.
That
we're alone.
The Weird Al.
Yeah, and then it's like alone now.
Oh man, that was the worst day.
Oh, it was.
Life.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
We had
Okay,
fun. Come on.
No,
we
I
had
take
fun.
that back. I take that back because then I had the live stream with LDG last night. So,
Hey, last night was kind of fun. I mean, other than the fact that it was my 3-year anniversary of the worst wreck I ever had in my life, but there's that.
You always got to just, be the Debbie Downer, don't you?
I'm sorry. You know what's funny? So you know how tomorrow...
I don't know. What did you think?
Oh, whatever. You got to see the movie. You just didn't get to hear the movie. You just got to,
Actually, the funnier
me.
thing is the fact that, given that it's Star Trek, that even I, with the least amount of views of this, has seen this enough time to be able to tell you which scene is in what order almost without fail.
Yeah.
So
No, it was fun. So tomorrow we're ranking season 2.
Yeah.
And something rare happened to me the other day. I, was going through my list, and wanted to watch the episodes to refresh my memory. And a lot of them, like Metamorphosis, for example, I watched the first 3 minutes. I was like, oh, okay, I remember it all. And then, but then Cat's Paw.
Yeah.
I don't know. I legit did not remember that episode. It was like watching it for the first time. And then I did some research and it makes a lot of sense. It came out October 27th, 1967. It was their Halloween episode, which made a ton of sense.
Right.
Because it's very Halloween.
They
even say Bones even says Bones even says Halloween. It's got a witch and a giant black cat and all that stuff. And I was like, that's rare for me. Like, I legit don't remember ever seeing that episode. It blew my mind, So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. And I told my boss that I'll quit if he makes me late.
Yeah. More hollow words with a vehicle potentially dangling over your head like the sword of Damocles.
You just can't make it to work.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So
anywho,
now downloaded it, so I'm working on compressing it so I can upload it to Vimeo.
Hey, make sure you have all the. If you need me to send them to you, I will. But make sure we don't miss any episodes tomorrow, like last week. That was embarrassing. There were 5 episodes.
I can't believe and the funny thing is we were missing episodes. None of the 3 of us should have ever missed.
Yeah.
Well, I grabbed them as a batch, and I didn't realize there were a couple.
Yeah, no, it's
all right. So,
well, I have them all in my Photoshop file, so I can send them to you if you need them.
Okay.
Just let me know.
All right, so the alien space probe that's actually just a giant floating turd shows up, and I love this guy. I think it's a probe captain. Based on
Oh yeah, this was the thing that annoyed you because you're like, so how do you even know it's a probe?
Yeah, it just looks like a giant piece of crap.
Well, it actually looks like a probe. Like if you were going to probe somebody's anus, it would look like that.
Well,
Really? That's what you would probe somebody's anus with? Is
A big giant stick?
A giant cylinder with hard edges?
Sadly, I mean, I haven't had my colonoscopy yet because I know
color checks out, does it?
I've had multiple colonoscopies, and they do not put anything that looks anything like that near my butthole. All right, so just to be clear, it has rounded edges and lots of lubricant.
Things I did not expect to hear on my Thursday evening.
So yeah, you get to look forward to that one, buddy. In fact, I think we should live stream it.
Live stream what? Whenever I have a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Yeah, like Moon River.
So then we get our first female captain in Starfleet,
who was trivia question.
We talked about this. Yeah, it was the Queen from Coming to America.
Yes.
Which was pretty cool.
Which actually was a new one on all of us because it was you were like this lady's voice, and that's when I went digging and was hello.
And she's also we also get to see our first male Deltan.
Yeah.
And
the future president of the Federation. Not really, but kind of.
Right. And the president of the Federation is Mr. Dumbass from that 70s show.
Yes,
Dumbass.
Exactly.
Red. Yeah. His name is Red.
But I wanted him to say Dumbass. It's
President Foreman.
How funny would that have been? Of course, this was way before 70s
Have
show,
Renee, as the general going, okay, we have this plan where we can rescue him. He's like, it's Kirk's own fault. He was a dumbass for getting captured.
Shut up, dumbass.
You know what would have been funnier is if there was like a Benson-like character that reported to the president.
And they can put
Okay. I don't understand my mother's comment here. What do you mean? God had been working on you for a long time, son? What's that got to do with my car troubles?
God caused your car to die.
I don't know. No, I would suggest that the correlation's the other way. The job exists to save the car.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Like at least it's paid for anyway.
Well, a paid for car that doesn't work is,
worthless. Yes, I get it. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, but if it's structurally sound and it doesn't cost much to fix, then.
Well, I'm gonna take it. I think I'm gonna drop it off tomorrow, Uber to work from there, and hopefully, it's not gonna, because I just got paid yesterday, and I don't want to be broke again. But yeah, I know, right? It's like, and I gotta wait 2 more weeks to get paid again. I don't like this.
Well, anyway, on the bright side.
What's that?
I don't know. I'm just telling you to look for it.
You know what? Yeah, I'll open my hood and my engine will be bright red. That'll be the bright side.
Won't that be? You won't have to. You can roast marshmallows on your engine.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Marshmelons.
Yes.
Why do they call them marshmallows? We'll talk about that next.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a couple of days.
Well, no, this lucky son bitch.
Oh,
he's getting out. He's getting out of watching Star Trek.
I don't know.
5.
Mike probably has ulterior plans
Actually,
here.
Here's what we're gonna have to do, because I didn't even think about this. So, we're having a production meeting in the middle of our late review of Star Trek 4.
Sorry, guys.
So, since you will not be available to record this weekend,
Correct.
And I forgot to tell you guys, but I will not be available a week from tomorrow, because that's the last day of our fast at church.
That Friday night. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
so I've been petitioning to move us back to Wednesday, Thursday. Do you want to just do that week, Wednesday, Thursday, just for the 1 week?
Well, that's up to Jason, because I don't know what his schedule is with charity and everything. I don't want to mess.
Because Wednesday, usually I get to work from home on Wednesday, so I'll definitely be on time Wednesday. So,
but that's up to Jason.
Yeah. We'll have to play that one by ear because it's new job time, first full week. So
yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, so I was thinking like next week, worst case scenario, we just do the Thursday show and we'll do a rating on Thursday since we.
And then we could just kick
then we'll
everything
watch Star
down
Trek 5 that Saturday.
Yeah, kick the can down the road a smidge.
Oh, okay. You know what?
That's not a bad plan.
It's not a bad plan.
That way,
a light week. Yeah. Well, actually, that means
I want
too.
Jason to suffer the final frontier with us.
No, you guys have to suffer.
No escape. Yeah, and actually that means, that's actually not a bad idea for another reason too, is if you end up needing an extra day to coordinate vehicle entertainment if things require mending. Danny.
Yeah, no, I'm
I'm hoping the weekend to get your car taken care of, basically.
Yeah, so instead of having to worry about 2 nights
with
next week.
Canadian double speak.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, instead of having to worry about 2 nights next week, then you only have to be concerned with a ratings night, and that's it.
Yeah. So,
all right.
So no movie review next week, sadly, because we will be,
life happens.
Yeah, life
exactly. Life finds a way.
Yeah, I always hate
something
like a good neighbor. It's neighbor. No, it's neighbor. Like it's on the paper.
Get to the chopper.
It's pronounced chopper. Don't.
Yeah, Mike hasn't seen that one yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh my god,
I told him
it's
he's
so
gotta
funny.
Watch it.
You gotta watch it. There's actually 3 of them total, but yeah.
You'll have to watch it after.
And we missed. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip it, but at the beginning there was the dedication to the crew.
The Challenger, yeah. And the saddest thing about it is that so many people don't even know anything about any of it.
Well, we were talking about this Saturday, but for those of you who are not on supportsalty.com, even though he probably hasn't uploaded the video yet,
I'm actually working on it right now.
I was literally in the library at Shady Brook Elementary.
Shut his.
He's putting a title on
mouth.
The video.
Look, I'm sorry, okay, but
hey, man, don't be sorry for it. I was the guilty pleasure taker in all of that.
But no, I was like I told you guys, but I'll tell the live crowd today. I was watching it live in the library at Shady Brook Elementary, and when the Challenger exploded, librarian comes, shuts it off, starts talking to us. Then the principal comes in, talks to us. Then they bring in the guidance counselor, and the rest of the day it's just like a therapy session because we just witnessed people die. That was not the plan. So it was for those of you who don't know,
the Challenger blew up.
Yeah, it was yeah, but what I was going to say was
you realize that a lot of our audience was not even alive.
They weren't even alive. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
There's definitely some that were, but there's a decent number that either weren't or were basically infants at the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the USS Saratoga, also known as Starfleet's bitch, because the Saratoga in every generation of Star Trek gets taken out.
That's true.
The ship doesn't get destroyed. It just gets deactivated.
Combat kill is a combat kill.
Yeah. So then we see the incredibly disappointing Starfleet Council where they show the Enterprise. They rewatch basically Star Trek 3.
I'm telling you, man, the drones, the space drones are on point with their footage. It's almost cinematic.
It really is. It's almost like it was a movie.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I really want to know how did the Klingons get this footage, considering that the Klingon ship that was there was captured by Kirk?
All I got to do is, we're going to need to make a clip out of Spaceballs and then just have is it now? Yeah. Or is this now then?
Now then.
Or is that now?
So then we get to meet the Klingon ambassador. What'd you guys
what is that? Gene Roddenberry? Or
no,
what's
Genesis.
Gene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of the Klingon ambassador?
Oh, this blowhard? He's great.
he fit what he was there to do well.
Yeah.
I liked it for that. Yeah.
I like the fact this is our first look at a Klingon politician.
Yeah. Yeah, and he went hard on Kirk, man. Like in this,
he has a serious hate boner for Kirk.
Oh yeah.
And but I like that.
Yet he's one of the first to clap when we get to Star Trek 6. You know.
Yeah. And he does. They had him do a properly hesitant clap too, which I liked.
He was like, "Yeah, I guess he saved our chancellor." You know.
Yeah.
But I liked him, and the funny thing is that we always think about how different the Klingons were in Star Trek 6, but this guy is kind of the prototype for them. Look at the way he's dressed, and just imagine that the leather parts are red, and that's a lot like what the Klingons were wearing in Star Trek 6.
Yeah, he's kind of like an Eskimo Klingon if you think about it. Little outfit he's got.
It's the northern
he's from
the northern territories.
Yeah.
So then we also see Sarek at work for the first time. It's funny because we've always known Sarek was an ambassador, but we never actually see him ambassadoring until now.
Well, I mean, technically, he was in the Road to Babel.
No, that's what I was going to say. Journey to
Babel. Yeah,
Journey to Babel. Was he an ambassador? In that episode?
Yeah, he was the Vulcan ambassador to go into Babel. But the problem was that we never saw them at Babel debating.
Of all the things to glom on to.
Yes,
really, Yosef?
It's indigenous northerner.
Is Eskimo really like? Is it like saying the word midget? You're not allowed to say it anymore.
Supposedly, which you just said. Thank you very much.
It depends on who you talk to, but the politically correct term is Inuit. But
a what?
Inuit.
Inuit.
Yeah, or Inuit, depending on how you pronounce it.
Is that aren't those the guys that make TurboTax?
Inuit.
Into it. Yes. The locals that lived in the snow are responsible for your TurboTax. We're also responsible for your maple syrup, so be careful.
So that's where TurboTax comes from.
Exactly. And that, boys and girls, is the story of how TurboTax takes care of your taxes.
Not really. I owe the IRS $10,000 thanks to TurboTax, but whatever.
All right, so look at this is the shot that I was talking about when we were watching the movie. Look at the bird of prey there. Okay. Now I know it's a matte painting.
Yeah.
But look at the people standing next to the bird of prey. Can you see
I
them?
can't.
Behind
because our faces are.
Let me go to the. No, well, I'm going to go to the layers here for a second. I'll bring the layer.
It's because I can't see where the layers are. But
I'll bring the layer all the way up
behind Danny.
Yeah. So here's the full frame layer now. So the people are not that small compared to the bird of prey.
Right, and you even see someone coming out of the back of the bird of prey there.
Yeah.
Well, this is supposed to be a small ship, a scout class vessel, right?
But now think about the same ship that we see later hovering above the fishing boat. And it's at least 3 times this size.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have some scaling issues.
Yeah, that's a serious problem.
Yeah. There be problems, not just whales.
Yeah. And there's no way you could fit a couple of humpback whales in this one.
No.
You know what's crazy? I don't know if you remember, but in Friday's Child, another episode I just recently watched for tomorrow's show, the Klingon in that didn't look very Klingon-y to me. I was not a fan.
You know what his name is?
No, I don't. I forgot.
Klingon. that is the character's name.
Is it really?
Yes.
Who are you? Klingon.
He's just called Klingon. That's his name. So everybody's still wearing the exact same clothes they were wearing in the last movie,
Except for Chekhov.
Except
for Chekhov. Yeah.
Chekhov. Walter Koenig was like, I am not wearing that outfit again. That's the only thing I can think of.
Can you blame him though? I mean, my God.
No, that was pretty brutal. Yeah. We very much discussed that.
And what is with the Vulcan hats?
Kind of looks like a pecker.
Dude,
yeah,
you need to see a doctor.
Or a cat's claw.
If your junk looks like that, you seriously need to go to a doctor.
Please consult your physician for the proper salve or ointment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they could also just be happy dogs.
Yeah.
Or that.
But they're all wearing that hat. I don't understand the hat.
It does kind of like, you ever heard of soft paws for cats?
Yeah.
It's a little like plastic things you put over their claws. Mm-hmm. Kind of looks like that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, look at these two guys just happily.
Kind of like well, see, the two of them there kind of look like gnomes now.
Yeah. We represent the Vulcan Guild. Yeah. Oh, man. So, then we find out Spock is the freaking smartest person ever.
How do you feel?
Yeah, but yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah.
But at least he got a haircut.
Yeah. So he was shaggy in the last movie.
Yes. And he's still wearing the same robe he was wearing at the end of the last movie. Now,
well, he seems to have misplaced his uniform.
Yes, but I mean, doesn't Kirk say in his opening log that they've been on Vulcan for like 3 months?
3 months, yeah. They couldn't replicate him a uniform in that time. I don't know,
Well, not even the uniform thing. They couldn't get him some street clothes to wear. Where's his dildo hat?
But everybody else is wearing the exact same clothes, so they must stink.
Yeah. Well, actually, what's kind of funny too is there'd be a Federation, not whatchamacallit, more than a consulate. There'd be like a full-on embassy.
Right.
So that means that there'd probably also be Starfleet people there.
Ariel says
that is street clothes.
That is street
clothes.
It's
not, because if that were true, then we'd see other Vulcans wearing terry cloth bathrobes. But we only see Spock wearing a terry cloth.
I don't know. That looks more like burlap than terry cloth.
You're right.
It looks
like burlap, but
very uncomfortable.
Whatever it is, it looks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like, man, Spock's got to be itching.
Yeah.
And so then we get Amanda, played by the same chick that played her in the original series.
Which was not. This is she was only in the one episode, Journey to Babel, and then this, right? Yeah.
I believe. Well, if I remember correctly, she might have been in an episode of the animated series.
Well, okay.
But I'm not 100% sure on that. So yeah, and then meanwhile the Saratoga now is completely
lifeless.
Yeah, they become the Saratoga.
They have no hope.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Grandpa Cisco is on the job at Starfleet Command, and so I do think headcanon. I think that is Cisco's great grandfather.
So Cisco's a descendant of a traitor. Okay.
Yes. Well, it makes sense because Cisco himself is a traitor.
I thought he was a god.
Well, a god.
He's a traitorous god?
Yeah.
Space Jesus? I don't know.
Yeah.
Space Judas, more like.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah. And then, so then why? And then they're talking to this dude. Why aren't they talking to the captain of the Saratoga? Because why not?
And this is the wonderful makeshift solar sail.
Yes. Why don't they just try to make a lathe while they're at it?
Yeah.
One of these days we're going to have to do a Galaxy Quest review. That should be the 14th Star Trek movie. We can do that.
We can do that after we finish all the Trek movies. I'm okay with that. At least it'll be better than, every movie we have coming except for Star Trek 6. Jeez. This is gonna be a rough patch here.
Yeah.
You know, you can. By the way, Danny, you have my permission to talk over the next gen movies all you want.
I don't think I'm as familiar with them as I am with the.
Yeah, the only part I think is going to be the obvious one with the line is drawn here, no further.
The line must be drawn here, this far, no farther.
Yeah,
and I will make them pay for it. Yeah, I will probably talk all
Which
over.
is the most Picard moment in all of Picard.
Well, you know the story behind that, right? He said he wanted to be more action hero-y.
Yes, which is stupid.
Yeah, because that's not Picard.
Because he's Jean-Luc freaking Picard. He's not Captain Kirk.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Which
what
is
happens.
Why, you know, Kirk is a far superior captain to Picard.
Yeah,
that debate's
no argument here.
Well, in the totality of Picard's entire time in Starfleet, yes.
Yeah.
If all we ever got was the TV series, it would be tight.
You know, and now this scene here is, you know, where they're trying to reach. They get the distress call from Earth. The president says, you know, don't come to Earth. So it's like, well, better go to Earth. And then they decide that they're going to time travel back to.
Well, I like how this was a throwback to what we talked about this last week. Is it with
Back to the
tomorrow?
Future,
Tomorrow is yesterday.
Ship.
No, the where they first did the slingshot maneuver was in Tomorrow is Yesterday.
True.
You know, so I like it when they, you know, do stuff like that. You know,
here's my problem with it. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate what they did here.
Oh,
okay,
I forgot. I got to get double-sided tape. This is for you, Mike. My little poop emoji. Right there.
I can't see it because I'm controlling the movie right now. But
okay.
I'll take your word for it that it's awesome.
It's just a poop emoji.
Yeah, yeah. The poop stress ball.
Wasn't Picard the poop emoji in that Emoji movie?
He was.
I've never seen the Emoji movie.
Art, life, irony, something.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Danny can't shut his effing mouth. Drag and drop.
Wow.
He's leaning into it.
I am uploading it right now so the Patreons will be able to watch your incessant talking.
SupportSalty.com if you want to see me basically recite the entire movie of Star Trek.
Near.
See my
I'm just glad you didn't try to pantomime it, because then I don't know what would happen when Chekhov goes off the deck of the aircraft carrier.
That would have been awesome, actually.
Wow. You were probably hoping my car engine was going to explode. You are mean.
Are you kidding? I put a bomb in your car. You're
just so mean.
All right, so, but no, here's my problem. Is that so obviously they know, based on Tomorrow's Yesterday, they know how to time travel, even though they actually knew it back in the Naked Time, but then they magically forgot.
Yeah, that one, they never revisited. That bothers me.
And by the way, this is the second time they've used the Tomorrow's Yesterday slingshot effect after Tomorrow's Yesterday.
When was the other time?
The one with Gary Seven.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's this. Yeah, that's what
Assignment
is it?
Earth.
Assignment Earth. Yeah.
So the problem here is that they basically established, so at least in Kirk's era, it does not appear that there is any kind of temporal prime directive like they have for Janeway.
What'd you say? Temporal? It's temporal.
I'm just being over exaggerated for the funds. Jeez. Anyway,
Tots.
temporal.
Why we should all go to Danny's channel where he loves and respects his chat, unlike Jason, who's a Canadian. Oh, that's not nice, Ariel.
Even if it is 100% true. So yeah, okay. So back in TOS days, you get a little more reloaded in there. They didn't have a temporal prime directive. So why is it that they don't just fix any problem by going back in time? Like, why didn't they go.
Yeah, like why didn't
go back
Kirk
in time and prevent
keep his
Spock
son from
dying?
Or prevent David from getting killed, or
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. That's it's a legitimate argument.
Yeah. Hey, how about this? When you detect V'ger, go back in time and get all of Starfleet there instead of just one ship that's not even done being built.
Twinkle, you're a Judas. I'm banning you from
Twinkle,
my
you are
show.
so right.
Oh, God.
Twinkle's just proving she knows what's going on, what it's really all about.
Yeah, she's to pardon the pun. She's just salty with me. It's all good. It's fine. It's whatever.
Well, no, I'm salty.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Yes, that's right. So anyway, but yeah, why don't they just fix everything that way?
Yeah, it's a good question.
So they decided to go back in time and take LSD.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, this didn't happen in Tomorrow Is Yesterday. This was
for
an
an 80s movie, this was awful trippy.
Yeah. So Kibo, is that how you say your name? Kibo artist?
News
here.
by song.
I'm gonna hold up.
What are you doing?
There you go, buddy. There's the link to my channel. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle.
My chat.
Not at all. No, he said he didn't know. He didn't know. Whatever.
Don't go to Danny's channel. That's where all the degenerates go.
go to the Fallow channel. Go to
all
mine,
three of us.
Nobody
all
is.
Three of us. Yeah.
Because there's not even a broadcast there.
Yeah. Well,
we should start simulcasting yours as well. We could. I mean, you might as well get content. Why not? So,
I don't know. I gotta reorganize and rebrandify myself. I gotta figure. I got too many.
Wow.
I got too much YouTube and not enough concentration.
Because Kirk's son isn't as important as Starfleet.
Well, hey, considering how dedicated Captain Kirk is to his trade, that's
Klingon bastards.
That's not that far off of a. That's not actually. You know what? Hey, when you consider he tries to save the Klingon captain until the Klingon captain pushes his luck.
Yeah.
Like Kirk is the consummate Dudley Do-Right.
Because Kirk is a badass hero.
That's right. He's a man.
All right, there you
Canadian.
go. Look at that. That is Patreon right now. Danny can't shut his effing mouth. And you can see
all righty.
Game on, people.
3 hours and 12 minutes of Danny being annoying.
How long? How long?
3 hours and 12 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty short for us, actually. Right on.
Yeah, it is actually.
So there you go. There's it's on Patreon right now.
They are not the hell your whales. Anyway.
Yes, that's a line. So after
one
the
of
LSD
many
wears off, Kirk tells Scotty to build a whale tank, and he and Spock are going to try to track down some whales, and the lithium crystals are broken, so they also need to find some crystals.
No, they need to.
I know they need to recrystallize.
I don't know. They might be looking for crystal meth. By the way, there's space travel is going.
Yeah, they ran out of LSD, so they need some.
No. It was LDS. It was
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Spock was into the LDS. But yeah, so they need some.
Yeah, he likes those door-to-door sales.
The what?
The door-to-door sales. The LDS.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
the Latter-day
Saints. I get them knocking on my door at least once a week.
He looks like some kind of crazy cult member, right?
Oh no, I'm just terrible.
So Spock puts on a headband, and they think that's a clever disguise. And then, meanwhile, in San Francisco, in the middle of Golden Gate Park, there's a couple of New York garbage men because why not?
Yeah, we were talking about that Saturday.
Yeah,
that was
that's
weird.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see nothing, and neither did you.
Yeah, funny lines, but
And then, speaking of funny lines, Danny's favorite line in all of Star Trek: "A double dumbass on
Double
you."
dumbass on you.
yeah.
This is Star Trek, ladies and gentlemen. This is Star Trek.
Sometimes this is what you get.
Yeah.
And of course, it would not be an '80s movie if there wasn't something about how nuclear arms are about to destroy the world.
Right. Well, Cold War and all.
Well,
And the funny thing is, San Francisco Register. You mean the San Francisco Chronicle wouldn't let them put that in a Star Trek movie? Come on.
Some people like having a lot of money and they don't want to share.
I think the Chronicle's pretty much dead now. The San Francisco Chronicle was, they were the paper in there. The Chronicle and the Examiner were the two big papers in San Francisco. And they were owned by the same company, of course. So Kirk decides to sell his glasses to an antiques dealer, and sells them for $100, which you calculated was like $300 in today's
Yeah, almost
money.
$300 in right now time money.
Yeah.
Which was pretty crazy.
Kiddos.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is one of those. Just looking at this shot here, with the chick in the foreground, and you see the people in the background and stuff. This is what people in the '80s looked like, not the crap you see in movies today that take place in the '80s.
Dialed up to 11 with
This is the '80s,
Yeah.
So this is literally just the '80s right here. So
yeah, it really is legitimately normal '80s walking around.
yeah.
Nuclear vessels.
Yeah. So best character in the movie, I said.
Yeah, stone-faced cop.
Yeah.
He was unknowingly practicing to be the T-1000.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Hey, that's a nice bike. And then the I hate you scene.
Yeah. The rage metal.
Yes. And so then we get murder porn. Which
this was a little weird.
That kind of hit you guys pretty heavy.
I did not like this scene. I thought that it was complete. It was
little gratuitous. Little.
I think. Look, I get the save the whales message, and while I'm not a whack job environmentalist or anything, I'm okay with the save the whales message. And in fact, the humpback whales are no longer endangered, probably in large part due to this movie. Which Danny, you pointed out when we were watching it.
Yeah.
But I don't need to see whales being slaughtered on screen.
Dude, no, and it was graphic. They were like showing them getting skinned and stuff. It was,
they were up close and personal shots of the whales just getting cut open and it was, like I said, it was the equivalent of going in front of an abortion clinic and showing pictures of abortion.
It was.
I don't like that kind of tactic.
Not necessary. Just not necessary.
You can make your point without being grotesque.
Yeah.
And here we get one of the many shots of the robotic whales that people swore were real whales.
Yeah.
It's just how good they did. That's how good a job they did.
They were still all jazzed up from all the work they did with the Oberth class.
Yeah. The robot whales, to Nimoy's credit and ILM and all that, the robot whales were brilliant. They were absolutely convincing.
This was the last movie ILM did with Star Trek.
No, they skipped. No, they skipped for 5, but they were back for 6.
They were back.
They came back for 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't remember if 5 was a skip because of budget or because of timing. Because I know one of the movies was budget, but this one was timing. I'm pretty sure.
Super chat.
Humpback Scotty people? With $1 says humpback people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Whales, Scott,
joining
whales.
in one of the many racist moments of this movie.
Although, as a side note, just to get this thought out into the ether, I will say that although it's not that I'm saying that either of them are awesome at all, but Star Trek V was less painful visually than Insurrection. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar,
I don't know.
era for
They're
era.
both pretty bad.
They're both pretty rough, but when you consider how far down the world was, or not down,
Well,
but
we'll
like,
get to that because
yeah.
but
put that one in the memory banks to ruminate.
But Star Trek V is painful, and we'll be watching that next weekend. Thank you for reminding me of that fact.
Reminded.
So they're looking at the fake robotic whales that do look 100% real.
Yeah.
Again, they really knocked it out of the park with the fake whales.
Yeah.
And of course, this is the most stereotypical group of extras to ever extra.
Oh yeah, this is your nun and
you gotta
your
have
old
a nun,
lady
you gotta have old
and
people. You gotta have an Asian guy.
There's a Navy guy in the back there.
Yeah.
Super chat.
And PETA with $1 says they were not fake whales. They were imprisoned by the white producers. Yet another example of white supremacy. Free the whales. Free all animals. You know what I have to say about that, PETA? Steak.
Yeah, exactly. You know the stupidest thing I've seen recently from PETA was this big campaign. They were slapping the name. Well, they were made up names, but they were slapping names on the packages of meat at a grocery store.
Or like Betty or
like Bessie the cow or whatever. And as though knowing the name of the cow would stop you, I'd be like, you know what? No,
Bessie
it would just
tastes good.
You know what it would be? What would happen is it means now when I say blessing, I'll be like, and thank you for this delicious sacrifice from Bessie the cow.
Yeah. Look, hey, I have nothing
Past
but
the A1.
appreciation for
Exactly.
animals. I love animals. After all, what is more magical than a 4-hoof, nasty-looking pig that can turn garbage into bacon? How do they do it? It's magic.
Homer Simpson is absolutely correct. It is a magical animal.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I love animals too. They taste delicious.
Yeah, and beef, how do you turn grass into steak? I don't know. But man, is it good.
Yes, sir.
So, man, now I want a steak.
Yeah. Now I need to adopt Asmund Gold's policy of even if it's a cheap steak, you got to have 2 steaks a week.
Only 2?
At a minimum.
Well, I just got a job, so I can barely afford 1 a week. So
no, but like he gets like, I'll have to send you the video and you'll have to watch it, Danny. You'll die laughing. Right. They're like the cheapest freaking steaks you can imagine.
I will tell you, like, if you know how to prepare cheap beef, you can make really good meals out of it. Like, I make a really mean what's it called? Top eye round, whatever, and it's a cheap steak. But I go to Sam's Club and you buy the whole thing, in one. And
you cut them yourself. You cut them to thickness, and that way
or Costco. I'm more of a Costco guy.
And it's only like $2 a pound that way. But you can make some good, and so I alternate between that and chicken breast.
Trustin comes in with the double down. He's like, no, moose tomorrow.
I've never had moose.
I've never had moose either.
Moose is good, and where Trustin
venison, and I love venison, so I have a feeling I like
where
moose.
Trustin's on the island in Newfoundland. They actually have a serious overpopulation issue with moose. Like they practically have open season all the time because some fool decided to move moose to the island, and there's no predators that can take down a moose. So they just
You
breed
can't-
like maniacs.
Yeah.
You can't get moose here in the States. I'd have to go to Canada if I ever wanted to try.
Or
You
Alaska.
you can get them in Alaska, but that's
And there's a couple of lower, like Minnesota.
Yeah.
Ooh,
like you're
Eric,
right
I've
on the
had
Canadian
bison.
border.
They actually do sell bison here at Smith's. I've had that. It's delicious
I've had bison, and they sell it as buffalo, but it's bison.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had it a couple of times. I prefer beef over bison. But I do really like venison, and I want to try moose sometime.
I would love to try moose. Yeah, I've
so-
never had it.
So we're all going to head up to Jason's and have moose this weekend.
There we go. Yeah. I got to get my passport first because you have to have one now to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Sucks. 'Cause I've been to Canada before, but that was back in the 90s when you didn't need to have
I've
a
never
passport.
been, so I don't have a passport either. So I need to get a passport so I can sneak across the border and be an illegal alien. So here we have Spock mind melding with an incredibly realistic robotic whale.
Yeah.
And I do like that. Maybe she's singing to that man. That was a good line. I gotta admit. And so then Spock and Kirk and Gillian have a little chat. She's upset, of course, because she just found out that her husband was a pedophile. And which, that's traumatic.
Stanley, I know. I literally said it was the 90s when I went to Canada. Give me a break, man. Good God. Anyway.
What do you say?
That we needed it for a long time.
Oh.
Yeah. Your passport, Yeah, I know.
Gotcha. My wife's been to Canada, but it was on the other side of the country from you. It was in Vancouver.
I went to Penticton. It was gorgeous.
Penticton?
Penticton. Yeah.
Sounds like
BC.
a disease.
Nah, it was gorgeous. It was
man,
I
I had sex
went
with
to a
one
resort.
chick, but I got Penticton. That's like...
Or they gave you Penticton to cure it.
Yeah.
I'd have to have sex to catch something, so there's that. I've been
Suffering from a rash, irritating burn? Try new Penticton.
Oh, okay, cool. That's just south of Kelowna. Yeah, that'd be a nice area.
Dude, it was so I won a trip with this company I was working for, and we stayed at a resort that was it was like Transformers. The resort was like built into the side of a mountain, and the mountain was on a beach. It was crazy. It was gorgeous. Yeah.
All in Penticton.
Penticton.
Yeah.
Penticton. Yes.
I like this.
They are,
Our entertainment crossing into our discussion, or entertainment in general.
because of the CWD zombie virus?
TWD meant The Walking Dead.
I was about to say,
I've never-
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh no. It's like
I
don't
thought they were referring to my business, Custom Web Designs. I was like, wait, what? What did I do?
I guess you made a zombie virus.
Yeah.
So those are zombie whales, but they're not the her whales. Which I do like Spock's attempting to cuss.
Yeah.
See, and this is
and this is where he's like, Spock, maybe you should just lay off the.
Yeah, the hell I don't.
Yeah.
You just don't have the knack for it or whatever.
Yeah, but this is how you use cursing in a fun way in Star Trek, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like Discovery, where they just start dropping F-bombs, which is no fun. This is like, this is just fun. Now we get that every time Jillian and her boss are on screen, I think this is like high school drama club. That's how bad the acting is. So I'm just glad that there's not too much of it.
Yeah, we got between the two channels, Trustin, we got 43.
Oh, nice. We're cranking it tonight.
Yeah.
So we got Uhura and Chekhov checking out the Enterprise, but it's not really the Enterprise.
And sir,
because the Enterprise.
It's the Enterprise.
The Enterprise was not in San Francisco, but they pretend it's the Enterprise because.
Yeah. And it's.
What'd you say it was Saturday? You said like
I forget which ship specifically, but it's a Forrestal class. It's the hull shape that looks the same as what the Nimitz is today. So it's close enough to look like the Enterprise that the unobservant are not going.
Well,
to
nobody's going
question
to
it.
know unless they're in the Navy.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I mean, the first time I saw the movie, I just assumed it was the Enterprise.
Yeah, but what was cool was you bringing up. Thanks for subbing to somebody, Mastodon, or that would be to Salty.
That would have to be to Salty. Yes.
Yeah, because that's
I
his
didn't
overlay.
see it pop up on the screen because
Mastodon. That's one of my wrestling buddies. What up, bro? Yeah.
Yeah, the Ranger, Thomas. But the more interesting thing was that you'd mentioned, Mike, that all of the enlisted and officers that were on the hangar deck, those were actually, it wasn't a bunch of extras.
Actual crew of the ship.
Yeah. So we got a couple people in the chat saying it's the USS Ranger is what it actually was.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
I'm quite sure that that's correct.
Yeah. But yeah, so the crew of the Ranger got to be in the movie, which was kind of cool. I remember seeing interviews on the local news with some of them and how excited they were. And then, of course, we find out that Spock is not only horrible at cussing, he's also horrible at lying.
This is still newborn baby Spock.
He hasn't been alive long enough.
He hasn't quite got the knack for it yet. Yeah.
But yeah, this Kirk trying to be Kirk and Spock just ruining it. Meanwhile, Scotty and McCoy are working on getting some plexiglass from a doctor, can't remember his name, but the guy who invented transparent aluminum.
Yeah.
But in the movie...
How do we know he's not the guy who invented it?
Yeah, in the movie, they don't actually know, but in the book, Scotty knew this was the guy that invented transparent.
Yeah, millions of miles. Yeah. Actually, on
thousands.
On a side note, now it was good that he said miles because he was in the United States in that time era. He should have said
kilometers. Though.
But what's funny is, and I picked up on this on some of the season 1 episodes I watched to remind myself of what they were about. The inconsistency of jumping around between metric and imperial.
It was terrible.
It was hilarious.
It was like, look, they're 17 kilometers away.
It
12
just
miles.
It depended on who.
Kilometers.
Yeah.
It depended on the writer that week.
Probably. I mean, I know that somebody with somewhere was probably trying to make it more, properly scientifically realistic.
Yeah. Whenever they said kilometers, they were trying to be more accurate. But yeah. Although the funny thing is that the imperial mile is still used for all naval vessels everywhere.
Knots.
Knots is nautical miles per hour. So they still use that.
Yeah. Everybody uses knots. Nobody switched to kilometers.
Kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
Aravic, that's a good question. I don't think so.
Yes,
it is.
Transparent aluminum is a thing.
Is? Oh. It is indeed.
So we got everything from Star Trek except the transporter beam. When are we getting that?
I don't want a freaking transport. It's a murder machine.
I just want the replicator. I don't need the transporter.
Yeah, replicator I'm fine with. Transporter, I ain't going near it. You go ahead and beam yourself anywhere you want and knock yourself out, but I ain't getting in the death machine.
Yeah.
All right. Most unrealistic use of a computer in the history of film.
Yeah. And comically, not because it wouldn't necessarily be capable of doing some of the things he did, but because he should have zero knowledge to be able to do it.
Right. The Mac Pro, for the time, was probably the single most advanced small form factor computer you could get.
Yeah.
We had one of those at my elementary school. Yeah. I remember that.
But using hunt and peck keys and 35 seconds of typing, you're not going to be able to come up with a 3D representation of a molecule.
Yeah. Well, and this is a big point that I brought up. If you watch the watch along, is that there are chemical engineering softwares. I don't know if one existed back then, but even if it did, the reality is he doesn't know how to use it.
Right.
Because
maybe he took antiquated computers.
He took a learning annex on 20th century compute.
Well, I was talking about if I used to be a computer operator back in the early '90s or late '80s actually, and when and it was on a mainframe system that used COBOL. And it's like you get almost anybody who can be an absolute pro with computers today, and I sit them down on a mainframe using COBOL, they're not going to have a freaking clue.
Exactly.
They're not going to be able to load Zork, which was a thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Which an awesome game.
Yeah. And on a side note too, on the transparent aluminum, because I couldn't remember how refined they've been able to get this stuff.
Yeah. Not now, Madeline.
It is actually so tough that it can be used as armor against 50 BMG, which is very impressive.
That's
Multiple hits. Imagine Scotty being criticized for not knowing how to use a computer. Sure.
And by the way,
Scotty
was not a computer engineer.
Yeah, exactly. Scotty is do you know what? This is why it never really bothers me anyway. But this is why it's so funny when Thomas tries to take some of these swipes, because it'd be like getting angry at the guy who works on my Honda Civic that he doesn't know how to install Windows.
Right.
It's like totally not same job.
All right, so
how does she not see this?
That's why I pause here. First of all, why is she driving on the grass? She's some environmentalist. Why the heck is she driving on the lawn?
And she does it every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
And secondly, yes, Spock is literally 20 feet away from her truck.
Actually, the funnier thing is that she's an environmentalist and she's driving the truck.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
A beat up old, Sanford and Son pickup.
Yeah, she should be inappropriately and ironically in a VW Vanagon from the 60s that actually spews oil all over the place.
So then she and Kirk get pizza because why not?
Thomas is leaning in on Ariel's shtick.
Yeah.
Ariel, you have a competitor stepping in on your territory.
Right.
So Kirk gets a call on his communicator, and she freaks out about it.
I thought I told you never to call me.
Right. Tell him it's done. Good luck, Kirk out.
Yeah, it's like the most straight to the point, and then trying to be subtle about it.
Yeah.
I'm from Iowa.
Yeah.
I only
and then your
outer
favorite
space.
part, Kirk tasting Michelob.
Yeah, well, that always is that stuck out for me because of the whole not understanding what was going on when I was a kid the first time I saw it.
Yeah, why does he think it tastes weird?
Yeah,
and we were talking about do they not have beer in the 23rd century? Sure, but if you went back in time to like the 1860s and took a swig of beer, it would not taste like beer from today.
Mm-mm.
And so, whatever.
Well, you would know. I mean, that's around the time you were born, right?
Thanks. But Michelob, we just know, Michelob tastes like piss, right? But Kirk, maybe in the 23rd century, beer doesn't taste like piss anymore. Maybe it actually tastes good. I don't know.
And he's confused.
Yeah.
As to why they served him swamp water.
Yeah. And so he's like,
I thought they ordered 2 pizzas.
Well, she orders, and then he's like, and for you, sir, he says, make that 2. But, okay, does that mean 2 pizzas or both halves of the pizza the same?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe he just meant make that 2 Michelobs,
Yeah.
It was kind of not clear.
Yeah. But, and this is our first thing about no money in the future.
Yeah.
I actually was when they first saw the newspaper and Kirk said they're still using money.
Well, no, but remember last week in Search for Spock, Bones was like,
he's trying to pay for a chartered spaceship.
Yeah. He said, place you name, money I name.
They have money, they don't have
or bargain. No.
What they don't have is hard currency.
Well, I was going to say, even if they had their money, what good would it have even done?
Right.
Right. I have 5,200 space bucks.
Yeah.
I got Federation space credits.
Yeah. Yeah. Republic credits will do fine.
Yeah. So she drops Kirk off. and Kirk disappears. Oh, look, she's got an I Heart Whale sticker on her window. Which,
Oh,
by
look
the
at
way,
that.
was not on the truck before.
I didn't notice it. I didn't know this. Did you see this? Michael's comment here.
Make that
apparently
tune,
in the
"Wow, you
novel.
must," and she says he meant to. Oh, okay.
Okay, well that makes more sense then.
Yeah, that definitely adds up then.
Yeah. So for some reason, extracting stray particles out of a nuclear reactor makes them get a power drain up on the bridge, and so they send all the soldiers down. Meanwhile, Scotty's running out of juice, so Uhura beams back, and then Chekhov gets captured. And okay, Danny, don't say the word.
Okay.
What?
The R word, because Danny likes to use the R word.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's got to be like or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a very politically incorrect use of the R word when just talking about who's Pavel Chekhov, Starfleet. Which is like, okay, so Kirk went through the trouble of telling him to take their rank insignias off, but Pavel brought his driver's license.
Yeah, he went full stupid and brought all of his ID with him.
Yeah. Which makes no sense whatsoever.
And he's doing that thing where he's like just tells him who he is. You know, it's like.
So then for some reason the phaser doesn't work because of all the radiation.
Yeah, must be the radiation.
Yeah, which means they would all be dead.
Now here's an interesting question though. Not just the fish out of water aspect, but wasn't Chekhov's character always played a little bit as like the naive young guy in the series in season 2, season 3? Yeah. So maybe they were kind of trying to play up off of that some more, or
yeah, but he's a little old for that now. I thought
I don't know. It was clunky. I mean, it's fun, but it's still clunky.
I think it would have worked better if they had just like asked him who he was a few times and then have him what happened to Danny?
Oh, he's back.
And then he just grabbed the phaser.
Yeah,
I got booted. That was weird.
Yeah, it's like it must have been just a low enough connection, like out and back in.
So this is where you see the crew of the Ranger there.
Yeah. Now the room that they were in before. Now the funny thing I'll say there is, don't know, probably the room that they were allowed to film in because restrictions.
Right.
And super
chat.
Thomas. So what happened to the phaser after this? Yes, this created an alternate timeline, Thomas.
Yeah.
I
even brought that up. It's the 5th timeline.
Yeah.
So yes, there is now an alternate timeline where technology advanced too quickly because Pavel Chekhov was the dumbass and forgot his phaser.
Yeah.
So
way to go, Skippy.
You dumb shit.
Well, he's Russian. And so. What are you doing?
He just opened his phone for a second.
Right. So for some reason, the map painting has changed, and so Gillian's upset because reasons. Oh yeah, and Sulu this whole time was apparently having sex with a helicopter pilot.
Well, there were certainly favors traded for him to be able to fly that Huey.
I mean, right? Like, how did? That was.
You could groan or not, but either way, favors were had.
Yes, and for some reason, Sulu can't tell what the windshield wiper button looks like. And
well, it probably doesn't look like what it does in my car.
Do helicopters actually have windshield wipers?
They actually do, yeah.
Oh wow.
So Sulu is bringing in the plexiglass. Jillian does a really bad pantomime at the base of the ship. So they beam her.
Screams a lot, has her soul removed.
Yeah, she's dead for sure. And then we get the kidney lady.
Doctor gave me a pill and I grew a new kidney.
Yeah. Where's the beef?
It'd be funny if
was
it was
that her?
No, but it'd be funny if it was.
For those of you who don't know, that's an old Wendy's ad.
Yeah.
And so right here you have McCoy arguing with the surgeon and about what to do with Chekhov. And McCoy's solution is just put a gadget on Chekhov's forehead and wait.
Yeah. He took out his Nintendo DS and
So now they're trying to escape with Chekhov. There's your kidney moment right there. And I do like when they come out, they go, "Oh, he's going to make it. You went in with a she." And he's like, one little mistake, right? Now, of course, if this movie were being made now...
the people would pitch a fit.
Yeah.
My pitchfork and torch factory would be on double time.
How dare you say it was a mistake that they changed gender, you know?
Yeah.
He should have said something like, well, yeah, it's a he now.
Yeah.
Thanks,
there's
Eric.
a great pause right there.
Oh, my.
Danny, insert your comment there.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something else that started with a C.
I don't know, but that's one terrible pause. Holy.
She's just ready to gulp down where no man has gone before.
Well, there is a whale probe in the future.
Yes. So the bird of prey goes after the whales. The whalers are going to shoot the whales because, of course, they are.
Whaler's gonna whale.
Yeah. Whalers are bad. All right, so look at the scale there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could see the guys on the top of the boat, and they're tiny.
Yeah.
Tiny little people.
So
maybe it's a little bit further back than we think.
Yeah, the shadow is over the boat, though. The shadow's over the boat.
Yeah. No, that's
and that would make it worse anyway.
This poor vessel scales randomly.
Yeah.
It really is like an inverted TARDIS.
Yeah.
It's the same size on the inside always, but the outside varies according to requirement.
Right here, this ship is like the size of the Enterprise. If not bigger.
No, because it's so stubby overall, it still wouldn't be quite that big, but it would be like volumetrically, but it would be not little.
All right, so
it's broken.
They go back to the future, but they don't take LSD this time. They crash land in the water. Kirk has his dramatic save the whales moment. The whales get into transmission mode, apparently.
Yeah.
And tell the whale probe to go F itself. And then the whale probe, like a train, goes choo choo and leaves.
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's like and then it buggers off, and that's the end of it.
Again.
No.
Which
never
makes
to
no
be seen
effing
again
sense at all. And then they all go swimming, and Kirk.
Then they finally have their trial.
Yeah, they have their trial.
And we flew through this review. Wow.
Kirk gets buzzed. Well, because I didn't get to hear anything. So.
Oh. Okay.
They go here, and they should have gotten the Excelsior.
I totally think so too.
They should have just rebranded the Excelsior as the Enterprise A, as opposed to having the Enterprise A just being another.
It becomes Enterprise B, so there's that.
True.
Yeah, but the Enterprise B sucks, and we only got to see it in the one really crappy movie.
Actually, the funny thing is I'm pretty sure it's actually that model, that shooting model, that turned into the B.
Yeah, it's the same shooting model. They just added the little flares
the
on the side.
the little whatever outriggers.
Yeah. So the Enterprise A takes off, then they go and have their
dun 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 dun. Super chat.
And the Dork Knight, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, here's my contribution to the swear jar. Thank you, sir. A couple hundred more of those, and you'll be easy.
Yeah, I know. Hey, yeah. I just got my second paycheck ever, so
I'm proud of you. I really am. We'll see if you can make it through the weekend.
Yeah, right.
So the Enterprise A sails off into the sunset. The end.
Let's see what she's got.
Yeah.
And then
by the way, if you look carefully at this bridge set, the bridge looks very much the same in Star Trek 6, just painted dark.
Well, it looks exactly the same in the next movie we're going to watch.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Star Trek 5 and Star Trek 6 bridge set actually look the same. But in Star Trek 6, they just redid everything to be dark, which, you know, I think was a good move on
yeah, I prefer the slightly darker motif.
Yeah. And you can see Scotty is really trying to suck it in there because he doesn't want to look bigger than the whales.
Frump that chest out.
So you realize 3 captains on screen here.
Captain Kirk,
Captain Spock, Captain Kirk, and
Captain Scott. He was promoted to captain in Star Trek 3.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The captain of engineering for the Excelsior.
Yeah, but he still carries
he was
the
wearing
rank.
captain's bars.
He is? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, because you can still carry the rank, but just not be, you know, the dude.
Yeah. So only Dr. McCoy is not a captain, and the random ensign in the background.
He's a commander, though.
Yeah, but he was a commander back in the original series.
That's true.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd get a promotion at some point.
I don't know. I don't think he gives a shit. The character, that is, you know.
Well, he did quit for a while, and then and he was drafted back.
In other words, Captain, sir, Admiral, sir, I was drafted.
Yeah, little known, seldom used reactivation clause.
Yes, I know Danny's mean.
What?
Well, you didn't let me listen to the movie at all.
Well, at all is not entirely correct.
Okay.
No.
90%.
No. You got to listen to the movie as interpreted by Danny Ballard.
Yeah, Star Trek 4, the Ballard cut.
Yeah. Which you can see right now on supportsalty.com.
Yes, in fact, you can. It is up there right now for people to watch. So, Star Trek 4. What'd you think? What are you going to rank it? So, we'll start with Danny, because you're the only one that actually got to enjoy the whole thing.
Oh, hush.
Yeah, you can't say it's not true.
So, I'm looking at my critic list, and remember, everybody, even though apparently I'm sitting at a whopping 50 reviews, I'm pretty sure Jason has 1, and Salty's maybe got 3. But let's see. I gave The Search for Spock 90%. I gave the motion picture 80%, and I gave the Wrath of Khan 100%. So I got to give this one 95%.
Wow.
I'm gonna. I like this one better than The Search for Spock. Yeah. So if I'm gonna, keep it consistent with,
Wow.
I no. Obviously, I enjoyed the shit out of this movie. I quoted the whole damn thing subconsciously.
I know.
I didn't do it on purpose. It just happened. It's a fun movie. It really is.
You give it a 9.5 or a 95%.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, what do you think?
Hey, look at that. Tim agrees with me. That's good enough for me.
Tim is an idiot, though.
So
no, don't insult your.
If this had been far enough back, like say 20 years ago, I would have actually put this ahead of The Search for Spock. But today, right now, it's either neck and neck or just barely behind The Search for Spock, because I appreciate, because I really appreciate what was trying to be built with The Search for Spock now more than I did, especially 30 or 35 years ago. But it's at least an 8 for me. I rank my Star Trek movies in order. I have not yet really put an out of 10 on them. So, and
We'll
for
have to
me,
do that. Once we get through Star Trek 6, we'll have to rank all the TOS movies. Just order.
Well, it'll be easy for me because I'm the only one actually putting the review. I wait.
Yeah.
So tonight I will put my review on Critic List, which is what you guys should be doing.
I know.
But every time we review these,
Oh, but
Either
well,
the night
give me my lashes, sir. Give
Hold
them
on,
to
of
me.
or the day after. I you know.
I will refrain from the lashes because you did get something done.
Oh yes, I did. I actually finally did. Because anyone who may notice, I don't think you mustn't have talked about it last
No, we
night.
haven't mentioned it, so this will be the big announcement. So
Oh
you
yes,
go
yes, yes,
ahead
yes.
and tell the world.
So I got off my butt and went in and scrambled everything around. And if you notice, there is a join button on the Salty Trekker channel.
Yes, so you can now support the channel through memberships if you choose.
Hey, can you gift me one? Like, I feel like Jason and I should get a free membership just because, you know.
I don't know how to gift a membership.
Oh, okay.
Jason's in charge of that. He's the IT guy.
Yeah, I've never actually done the gift. And for me, if I click on it right now, I get an instant free month because I have the premium account.
Oh, I have premium. Does that mean I'll get?
Probably get a free
let me
month
try that.
too.
Yeah, if you got YouTube Premium, you'll get a month for free.
I do.
Yeah,
because I hate ads. You know.
Yes, I very much loathe the ads.
I'm also an ad hater.
Yes.
So, but I actually have YouTube Premium for the YouTube Music.
Yeah, not to pimp the old Googler too hard, but anybody out there that uses Spotify, but they also hate YouTube ads, Google actually has a larger music library than Spotify. Yeah. So if you don't care about Spotify podcasts, YouTube Music is the superior option. Whether or not the player is better, the library is better.
So what's the difference here? We've got Salt Miner 3rd class, Salt Miner 2nd class, Salt Miner 1st class, and then Nerd Fights ringside. Now, other than the huge price differences,
there are minor perks that accumulate as you go up the 4 options.
We're still working on the actual exclusive content stuff, but if we actually get people who are going to support the channel, then we'll worry about putting exclusive content.
Yeah, because you can make instead of these little stars, you can make custom little.
Art department.
I'll get right on that, sir. Sorry.
Just don't take as long as I did to do.
Yeah, you know what? That'd be kind of fun because you could pick whether you wanted to have the little icon of you or me or Jason. Like if you make a little one for each.
I'll do. Well, I mean, obviously, because I like my artwork, I'm going to use our Muck Time versions of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now if you do want to support the channel that way, you please do or gift it to other people, and we'll start working on exclusive content as soon as we actually have some.
Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. You just gave me an idea.
Yorktown is our very first member.
Yeah.
That's some trippy music that came from that.
Yeah. So here we go.
So 47 Yorktown, our very first membership.
I want you to count this towards my swear jar.
Are you putting in your freebie on me?
Huh?
You using your free month on me?
No, I don't get a free month, even though I have premium. It wanted to charge me.
Oh, really?
But I'm gonna
it probably wants to charge you, as in pre-charge your credit card or whatever your account.
But what I will do, I'm not feeling that generous. I'll just do this one. But what I will do is 5 lucky folks in Salty's chat right now
you're gonna do the gifting thing.
Are gonna get a free
Does it,
membership.
Give them out, or do you?
It does. It is random. So So Stanley just got one from me. Melphis Sky just got one. Captain Fandom Nerd, Daniel Stenz, and my mother. Yes. There you go, Mom.
Membership with everybody.
Man, I love the music that comes up for these. Oh, this one's my favorite.
I like that dude falling.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. It hears me. Oh, man.
Yeah, then we got Daniel and then my mom. And those are the 5 I just gave away. And I'm not even a member.
It's EDM night on the Salty Channel.
Well, thank you, Danny. Thank you, 47 Yorktown. And so now we got to figure out what kind of exclusive content we're going to do. I think we'll have Danny, we'll show clips from that one night when Danny was whipping out his junk.
No.
No, that is not.
Agreed.
That is not saved.
To never talk of this. Yeah.
That is not saved to the archives, thankfully.
Yeah, thought we agreed to never speak of that again.
Yeah,
Come on.
that never made it to the memory banks.
Yeah.
Ooh, man.
I was going to say the open air. Whatchamacallit? Yes. Anyway, brain is shutting down for the night.
Air, whatchamacallit.
Yeah. Planning meeting.
Yes.
Production meeting.
Daniel, you're welcome. Good name, by the way. Good name.
We could always, it does mean work for somebody, but we could definitely go in and clip out some of the more hilarious moments from any of the watch-alongs and slap it.
Oh yeah, see, that's what we should do.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we should do. Clip out.
If you want the full length, go through Patreon. If you want the clips, then you get the clips by being a member.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah.
And because the clips are almost always going to have nothing playing while it's happening.
Right.
Well, the nice thing is
it keeps it from getting.
Take me, I might have to do this. It'll take me like an entire day to try and do it, but to try and get every time I yelled "shut up."
I was about to say you could probably get a month's worth of content just out of you telling me to shut up on this last video alone.
Man, yeah, but
yeah. Just Dan,
shut up.
Yes, and let people download it as a ringtone.
Yeah.
Danny. But yeah.
All right, so we'll wrap it up there. So, I didn't give my my final grade, I guess. Oh, did you give a number grade on it, or did you?
Yeah, I think you said 80. What'd you say? 85?
You said an 8, right?
I would give it an 8.
Right.
Yeah,
8.
So I'm going to be the negative Nancy of the group. I'm sorry, but of the first 4 Star Trek films, this is my 4th favorite. I honestly, Star Trek 2, obviously the best. Star Trek 3,
yeah.
Star Trek 3 is a not so distant second. Star Trek the Motion Picture is a distant third, and this movie is right behind Star Trek the Motion Picture. And I think this movie and Star Trek the Motion Picture have the same problem, just in different directions. Star Trek the Motion Picture takes itself too seriously. This movie doesn't take itself seriously enough.
So 7.5?
I'm going to say 7.
7? Okay.
It's a good, solid movie. I enjoyed it. But it's to me, it's like Trouble with Tribbles from the original series. It's a fun episode, but is it an episode I jump to when I want to watch Star Trek? Absolutely not. But it's not an episode I would skip.
Right.
Not like Star Trek 5. Star Trek 5 is going to be the only of the original series Star Trek movies that I think will get a lower than 5 rating from me.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. I don't think I can give it lower than 5. I'll probably give it a 5. But,
it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. All right, so with that, we're going to wrap things up. Remember, guys, you are the salt of the earth. Thank you so much to our new subscribers. Danny is the subscriber king right now, but also still annoying when you're trying to watch. He said something really racist about being like a black woman in a theater while we were watching the movie.
Whoa! No,
you don't
I just
when you said that.
I know. I said I've been called a black woman in a movie theater before.
Yes,
because of the talk.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I've been to many movies with a black woman, my wife, and she doesn't talk during the freaking movie. All right,
well,
so let me try to dispel that myth right now.
My bad.
And Jason, he's still just a cranky Canuck. I don't know what's up with that, but
moderately effective IT guy.
Moderately effective IT guy. Well, you did finally get the memberships working, so I appreciate that so much.
And now I got to make
this weekend,
icons.
no recording. Danny's got to fix his car. You got a plan for fixing your car?